get you. Oh well, you'd be paranoid too if everyone you knew was out to get you.
Have a Britney moment and to cut it on. I got what I wanted, or at least some song. Yeah, I'm a little bit slow. I might turn around and say some stupid shit. No, had a Britney moment and I cut it off. Cut it off.
Be paranoid too if everyone you knew was out to get you. You'd be paranoid too if everyone you knew was out to get you. Oh well,
and I said like a million vocal things in my head for it, but like whatever, fuck it, here.
High key, when we fucking feel like I'm struck by your lightning. Say I'm brainwashed, yeah, it might be, cause I built a secret room for you. Just one more chance to adore you. Love you at all costs, you know that. If you're talking, hey, tell me what you want me to say.
you know I'm stupid for you. Hey,
Can you come out and play?
you know I'm stupid for you. I'm color coded my moods. You're yellow, I'm natural blue. Let's get together and be green like my insides.
At least I'm
Match your eyes
jealous.
and hypnotize
Let's match our faces.
and be equally in love. Hey, tell me what you want me to say. You know I'm stupid for you. Hey, can we come out and play? You know I'm stupid for you.
Let's trash our whole afternoon, reciting recycled news until we melt and go back to your hotel room. I'll be your new favorite tune. I'll be your black cloud by June, but only when you miss the rain.
Where I miss you.
Just double dare me and I promise now that I'll stay. It's not
Like you're married, but I
still got
carried away. Tell me what you want me to say. You know I'm stupid for you.
Can you come out and play?
You know I'm stupid for you.
You're playing ring round my head. I'll wear
You like a halo symphony. I'm just a sour note
I'll take what
I can get
best is hard to grip
when everybody wants you.
and everybody wants you. Playing ring round my head.
I'll wear you like a halo
You're
symphony. I'm just a sour note
I'll take
what
what
I can get.
the best is hard to grip when
Everybody wants you. Tell me what you want me to say. I'm stupid for you. Stupid for you. Hey, come on and play. You know I'm stupid for you. Go ahead, I should go live. I'll wear you like a halo. You're a symphony. I'm just a sour note. I'll take what I can get
the best is hard to grip
when everybody wants you.
and everybody wants you.
I should definitely go live, yeah. I mean, it's kind of, yeah, it's like 7 plus now. I'm definitely no 5. I was just kind of vibing. Yeah. You're right. We're good. Okay. Wait! I'm shiny. Main character syndrome asking in right now to say, why do you always ask me this? Why do I always ask you if you're a stalker? Well, you need to stop stalking me. Is blab working? Oh. That's a good question. Let's try it, shall we? Hi everybody, welcome into the stream. Let's try the blurp. Are we in focus? Yes. Cool. Blurp. Do I even have that open? Yes, I do. Hold on. Here's a blurp.
Hooray! I'm useful.
Now, is that coming through for you too?
Hooray! I'm useful.
It is coming through for you. Is yours not working? I'm sorry yours didn't work. Interesting. You did a little cheer and it didn't come through? I don't know. Weird. Did you spend any money? Because if you spend money, I'd feel bad and we'd find a solution. Maybe the music was loud. Oh yeah, true. True. Hi everyone, welcome in. Perry, do you know why Thursday is important? Because it's day one of DreamHack. Wait, why is Thursday important? Is that not why? Is it your birthday? Is it your birthday? I have my first year university final in about 52 minutes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Good luck. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. What can we say to disgruntled to make them relax? What's something positive that we can say that's like... I can't think of a thing. What's a reassuring thing? Oh, I'm coughing. This is the worst reassurance ever. I'm now choking. Chin up, slugger. You've got... Very don't die. Imagine if I just spontaneously died. Yeah, chin up, slugger. That's a pretty good one. Perry, you dying? Yes. That's a good one. Don't choke. It's fine. Listen, people go to prison. Do you know what I mean? Someone actually said this to me the other day and it made me feel way better about everything. People literally go to prison for about 40, 50 years. And they come out of prison and they're like, fine. Sometimes. They're not really, but they keep going. Does that make sense? So if you can literally go to prison and get out of prison and be fine, then you can get a B in an exam. Do you know what I mean? That's what someone said to me, and actually now that I hear it back, maybe it wasn't that supportive. Amazing pep talk. Yeah, it's not as bad as going to prison. You're gonna do great. You're gonna do great. Even if you don't do great, it doesn't matter because some people go to prison. You know? They should hire you instead of Ben Shapiro. You think I'm worse than Ben Shapiro? That is such a low bar. And yes, it is survivorship bias. Yes, it is. So it doesn't even work. Hi, Kate. Welcome in. Hi, Taki. And do your best. Yes, that's all you need to do. Your best. And good job. And proud of you for getting this far. And some people go to prison. Yeah, because listen, if you think of like the worst thing that could happen to you, no one dies. Okay, but beyond no one dying, you or anyone else, the worst thing that could possibly happen to you, probably, you know, getting sentenced for life for murder that you didn't do, right? That's pretty bad. So some people, that happens for some people, and they're fine. Very reassuring. I went to prison and I'm fine. I did not go to prison. I didn't. I thought I was going to go to prison when I was 12 because I stuck my fingernail in a boy's throat and he fell to the ground. He was lying. He was fine. It's because I liked him. So I stabbed him. Anyway, just London things. But yeah, I thought I was going to go to prison. Is what it is. Hi, Jeffers. Nice. Jerifus, are you the same person as Jerifus? Have you taken out the eye? What was wrong with the eye? I like this one too. It's all good. How are you? Yes. What prompted the eye removal? As it were. Gotta see. Might as well go to jail. No. That's just what your parents are saying. That's what it is. Stab until they love you. I mean, 18. You have to kidnap 18 women for statistically one of them to Stockholm Syndrome. By the way, Stockholm Syndrome is not the same thing as people falling in love with you, but like that's less fun to say. Why am I playing Motionless in White? Why am I doing that? Hold on. No. It's a banger, but do we want to listen to the same 6 songs we do every single stream? This is killing me. Why are my playlists like that? And I can't just shuffle it because then I'm gonna get banned. Hold on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah, I'm happy now. Yeah. It's like when I'm in public and I'm getting all like annoyed and irritable and then I put headphones on and it's just like, oh, you know. Put on Bardcore. Everyone hates the Bardcore bulk. Everyone hates it. Everyone hates Bardcore. And if you like Bardcore, it means that they hate you too. And I like Bardcore and they hate me and they hate Bardcore and everyone's out to get us, okay? You have to on the Bardcore because everyone hates it. No, everyone hates it. It's a lie. We polled it and over 50% of people said they didn't want to listen to Bardcore on that one particular day. Therefore, everyone hates Bardcore and you're never going to hear it ever again and everyone hates me. Another referendum, please. Haven't we had enough? I love Bard. Same. She's the hottest one in Baldur's Gate. You know, with the purple hair. She's not the hottest one. They are also cartoons. There's something about Asterion and I just don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. I'm not sure. It's the campness for me, I think. What is Bardcore? Well, since you asked. What's the one I should go for? Okay. What about... I need you to be like I need you to have like a good start to it. If you're gonna really appreciate ye old Bardcore, then you gotta have a good one, I think, to go in. Absolutely sick. It's sick. It's so good. I don't know why everyone hates Bardcore. I've been on my own for long enough. Show me how to love, baby. Na 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 na. Flying the Lights is a banger in any period. It is. It is. Yeah. Oh, since it is cold and empty, round to judge me. Can't think clearly when you're gone. I said. Anyway, yeah, we can let that go for a little bit. I'm like, cool. I'm, yeah. The Weeknd is cancelled. Why? Oh no, what did he do? Oh no, what did he do? Weeknd controversy. He's advocating violence towards bisexuals. Yeah, but like in a lyric. I'm not advocating, I don't agree that we should be violent towards bisexuals, but it's in a lyric, which doesn't listen, we did a stream on this, it doesn't necessarily make it okay, but at the same time, you've got people out there being like, oh, I want to eat your corpse, and it's, you know, what happens in a song stays in the song, you know? Why is he... Why? He's a sex addict. Well, that's not his fault. He has a toxic set. Oh, is he just a dick? And maybe also wants to be violent against bisexuals. What was the lyric? Violent bisexual lyric. No, the actual Weeknd is cancelled. You got to work 7 days a week now. Oh, you were making a political statement. There's actually nothing wrong with the singer? Oh. Or is that the joke? Wait, who started this conversation? Transit, you started this conversation. Okay. But I'm going to bleepity bloppity bleep you straight. That just sounds like... Oh, yeah. That just sounds like something people say. You know, not to be disillusioned or anything. But if I have to listen to another rap song where it's like, oh, I mean, okay, not one of my favorite songs of all time, but what is undoubtedly a banger, okay, is one that talks about how beautiful Indian girls are and then says sweetest Nani. Like, that's not acceptable. That's not an acceptable thing to say. Was it a banger? A little bit, just a little bit, but that is not an okay thing to say. And so I'm just saying, with rap songs, I don't even know if this was a rap song, but with rap songs, shit gets said. And it shouldn't do, and we should protest against it. And I, for one, appreciate rap music that is nice and friendly and, you know, isn't like that. And I don't like listening to... If there's a weird lyric in a song, regardless of the genre, I don't listen to it because, you know, life is short and I don't need to be sad all the time. Doesn't mean Weeknd is necessarily homophobic. He could be. He could be. Doesn't necessarily mean that he is. Do you know what I mean? What do you think? Maybe I'm wrong. Hi, Dion. Welcome in. Me hearing the end of the lecture. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Bisexuals? Like, bruh, just choose one. God, right? It's so selfish. Wacko, stop it. Personal question. No, I shouldn't ask you then. Need to stop doing this. I really messed up at a party the other day. I told you about this already. But I've been noticing it since that day. Yesterday night. Since that day, or the day before. I've really noticed me just asking questions when I shouldn't. Sometimes, okay, just because you want to know the answer to something doesn't mean you should ask the question. And it also, there's a time and a place. You shouldn't necessarily ask a question anytime you want to. Example, so I wanted to know if a boy was dyslexic because he was answering questions weird. Like he was inferring the wrong or a different interpretation of the question that other people was inferring from it, right? And so I wanted to know, is he dyslexic? Because that's a really common thing in dyslexia. And so in the middle of that conversation, completely unprompted, I blurted out, "Are you dyslexic?" That, for an example, is a time when I wanted to know the answer. I didn't need to ask the question in that moment. So this is what I'm saying. Character growth, right? So I was about to ask Worko a question based on that joke randomly in the middle of a stream where he would feel upset and or pressured into answering it, but maybe not. Worko, you're pretty cool. Hi Worko, how are you doing? What's up? You're pretty cool in terms of awkward questions and sarcasm. As in, you don't mind it. Wait, what? Hi. How are you doing? Yeah, so but I'm not gonna do that. Surprised he didn't ask, are you autistic? Yeah, no one asks me that. People tell me that, but they don't ask. Which I think is rude. I think it's a spectrum, and I think we're all... I don't think I'm autistic. I think I'm unsocialized. So I have symptoms that can look similar, you know? And I don't mean unsocialized in like... I mean, literally, like I did not learn the skills at the time in childhood when I was developing that I should have. Come on now, Perry, don't back down. So real. I did a similar thing asking a friend if she had a tilted uterus. Peter? I'm sorry, what was the context of that? Wait, where would... I want to feel better about myself, so I think that's why I'm bullying you, but... So it was just out of nowhere? Were you talking about... What are we listening to? I'm changing it. What are we... Was it seriously just out of nowhere? Like, hey, buddy, nice to see you. Yeah, nice to see you too. By the way, do you have a tilted uterus? Peter was just curious. Guys, don't bully Peter. Just curious. That's what it is. I am autistic. I'm on the creative spectrum. A high-functioning artist. You're actually autistic, by the way. What's that like for you? If you don't mind me asking, what's your experience? That's very general. I know that might be hard. Also, don't feel any pressure. If you want to ask, just explain your train of thought a bit. Oh, actually, that's a really good idea. Ah, that's what I should have done. Instead of being like, hey, are you autistic? I should have been, are you dyslexic? I should have been like, oh, that's so interesting. I really love the way that you interpret these questions. You know, seeing the other side of it is a trait in dyslexia. Is that true for... Yeah, man, that would have been so good. Excellent. I'm writing that down. Everyone write that down. That's good. I'm extra neurospicy, autistic and ADHD. Yeah, they have their own word for that, don't they? Because it's so common. AUHD or something. AUDHD or whatever. I get messages asking if that's what I am, but I don't know. Quick build a time machine and go redo the conversation. Wouldn't that be great, Shift Case? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Wouldn't that be wonderful if you could do that? Although it would add a lot of pressure. You know, you'd always want to do the perfect version of things, so you probably keep going back over and over again. You try it 100% life and then you wouldn't necessarily enjoy it. I much more enjoy dungeon crawlers when I don't check every single nook and cranny. In a dungeon crawler, I'm kind of obsessed with checking every single path and making sure I've turned every single leaf and every single thing, and I always go the wrong direction instead of going the right direction so that I can see the whole map, blah, 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 blah. But I find them much more fun if I don't do that. Does that make sense? So in terms of then building a time machine so you can go back and redo particular conversations, would you want that or would you not? Poll it. It's our first poll of the stream. Hi, morning. Maddie, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm also dyslexic, so my sentences come out jumbled, or the words with the letters scrambled. Oh God, you kind of have everything. I'm sorry. That's stressful. I live life on the edge, and sometimes that edge is very sharp. Oh no. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing. That was a fun sentence. Hi, OJ. Yeah, I think I'd overthink it. I think I'd ruin it. I don't like the light in this room. It's because it's sunny, but there's nothing I can do about it because these are broken, so I can't close them anymore, which means maybe what I could do is just, hello. I can lower the brightness here. Excuse me. Or something. And then, oh, that's worse. I guess we're just gonna sit in it. It'll be fine. Just switch up the sun for a while. Honestly, it was cloudy the last few streams and it was absolutely beautiful in terms of room lighting. But no. It's a change of scenery from dark Perry to bright Perry. When the meds kick in. The sun is Perry's nemesis. It hurts me. It makes my skin bubble. Is what it is. Hi, Arcminer. Depends what type of time travel we're talking about. It's literally a button or a machine that you could press and you could just redo conversations. You're overthinking it. You're overthinking it, Miner. You can hang up some curtains. I could. But then I have to get curtains, hang them up. And that's already too many steps for me. So I don't know. Like Rick and Morty style. Yeah, absolutely. Too much work. And I'm only going to be here for another 3 weeks. So... It was dull and gloomy on my birthday the other day. I love that you capitalized my birthday. Missing the bright days. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can celebrate your birthday on any day. That's what I've realized because no one really knows when your birthday is. So as long as you're not being a dick and doing it months before, you can just kind of be like, oh, it's meant to be sunny on Sunday. Let's have Sunday drinks. I don't remember the last time I've been to a birthday thing that was actually the person's birthday. You know? Another instance of lying for fun, but not just lying for my fun, lying for everyone's fun. Because people can come together and have a good time, you know? Everyone benefits from that lie. It's not a lie. You're not telling people, it's my birthday today, let's go get drinks. You tell people, I'm gonna have birthday drinks on this day. You know, it's not a lie. And it's birthday adjacent. So it's fine. No, people who have birthday weeks, maybe birthday weeks, fine, if they're a literal child. But people who have birthday months and birthday years can absolutely get in the birthday year. I have a friend that does a half birthday. I say friend, I use that loosely. She does a half birthday. And she expects people to buy her presents for her half birthday. And she's the worst. She's the worst. She sucks. She's the sort of person that just comes up to you while you're talking about something else and inserts a random fun fact about herself so that the conversation gets changed. Like, we'll be talking about... The only thing that popped into my head was blockchain. I've never talked about blockchain in my life. We'll be talking about blockchain or something. The concept of. And she'll come over and be like... So I did my laundry the other day and just every single time. She's not happy. She's not happy unless everyone is talking about I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. Blockchain, his parents secretly a finance bro. You know me. That's what I do. How dare you talk about me like that? Hi, Trajectory. Welcome, man. We're on our favorite self-examination again this morning. Yeah, I do worry I can do that sometimes. Do y'all ever get bored if someone's not talking about you? It doesn't often happen to me. It has happened to me once before, but I think it's only with my siblings. I hesitated on the part because I only have one. It's complicated. My sibling, if he isn't talking about me in the conversation and he's talking about himself, ugh, I don't want to hear about you. I don't want to hear about your job. Go away. But it only really applies to him, to be fair. My roommate can't go 30 seconds without using the convo. The bastard. Yeah. Imagine having a conversation without talking about Perry. To be fair, Jacob, it's a little bit different when it's the stream. And also, we don't talk about me. We don't talk about me. We talk about fire topics, such as... but never mind. 78% of you said yes, you would like a time machine to redo annoying conversations, and I would agree. I think it would be stressful.
Maddie
would be
Party
stressful.
says, I don't want to hear about your conversation. I want to turn this around and make it about me, damn it.
God damn it, so much more fun.
Well.
Thank you for the bits, I appreciate that, Maddie. Farah, thank you for the follow too, I appreciate that too. I was about to say something. Why have I googled violent bisexual? I don't remember. Can someone explain that to me? Oh, The Weeknd. The Weeknd song. Sorry, I was looking for my notes and I was just looking at my browser and it's just violent bisexual and I was like, what the fuck? Okay, The Weeknd song. Right, got it. Is that a fetish? Could be. Why wouldn't you Google violent bisexual? It's what everyone wants. They might pretend that's what they don't want, but it's true. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a violent bisexual. Rep. Woo! Maybe I was trying to type it into Craigslist. Stop! 1 minute time machine. What have you put in the chat? The chat, J11. You scare me. One Minute Time Machine, the short film that probably helped Rick and Morty win an Emmy. Rick and Morty won an Emmy? Cool. I'm not gonna watch it now, but thank you for putting that in there. I appreciate that. I didn't know this was a thing. That's pretty cool. A short film by Devin Avery. Nice. I like sweet women. What, like to eat? A little strange. Keep it to yourself. Wait, different strokes for different folks. I'm not bi. I sleep with anything. Valid. That's fair. Do they need to have a pulse or are you really open? Thank you so much for subscribing, Mudder. I appreciate that. Thank you. He's a mosquito, obviously. Yes, that's the only thing I was thinking of. That's the only thing I could think. Like one that's not violent. Oh, you want your partners to not be violent towards you? A little bit fussy, All right, princess. We take what we're given. No, I'm joking. Oh my god, I'm joking. Thank you. So pan. Yeah, that would be pan, wouldn't it? All genders. Whereas bi is 2 genders. But then people say bi and people say pan and it doesn't really matter because no one really knows anyway, Labels are for usage if you want to. They also don't matter if you don't want to. That's my personal take on it. And it's not just labels for your sexuality or other parts of identities like that, but also it's labels like mental health diagnoses, etc. Those function and they have a really important function in that they can help professionals treat you and they can also help explain symptoms. So if you're diagnosed with something, it's going to make it easier for psychiatrists to prescribe you medications and stuff like that. But it's all really wishy-washy and all kind of out there and no one really knows what's going on. And also, you can be like 7 things. And it's not really once you've already got it together, you've got all the help that you need, you're functional, you might be on the medication or not. After that point, in my personal opinion and experience, doesn't really matter anymore. So when people keep, okay, this is a bit overshare, this is a bit of an overshare, but when people keep asking me, Perry, are you autistic? Do you have ADHD? Blah, blah, blah. My honest answer is I don't know, and I don't care anymore. Because maybe it doesn't matter because I'm good. Like I've sorted out, you know what I mean? And you don't necessarily have to do anything about any diagnoses if you don't want to, but that's the thing. You don't even have to think about it if you don't want to. So long as you're functioning and happy and able to have a consistently, at least middle high quality of life. Do you know what I mean? You have ADHD, drink the coffee. Oh my God, you're right. Could have seen that coming, actually. Oh, it's down my pants. I was making a joke. I was using physical comedy. I'm having deja vu. No, you're not. Oh boy. Oh dear. Anywho. Drink the coffee, don't spill the coffee. Well, I was thinking I wasn't gonna do laundry before DreamHack and I was just gonna go. Because, listen, my jeans smell like chips. And everyone likes chips, you know what I mean? So, whatever. But now I think I'll do laundry. Are you actually in the room or is it a green screen? Where would you think I was, Leon? Can you imagine? Can you imagine you have a green screen of like a room, but actually you're on the beach? Like the opposite way around. No, this is the room. Would you like proof? I don't know why we're doing this. Hi, Leon. I got coffee on the sheets now. Whoops. Excuse me. It's not clean anymore. Nope, not at all. Not at all. Oh dear. No, the corn chip smell. Corn chip. What is a corn chip? Like a Dorito. I like Doritos. I had super spicy chili ones the other day. But I only had one. And the reason I say this is because I'm the sort of person, and put a 1 in the chat if you're the sort of person who does this too. I'm the sort of person that will literally sit by the crisp bowl the entire party. They'll just sit by the crisps and they will just do nothing else. Same thing if there's a dog and crisps, and that's it, and it'll just yum 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 all night. So I had one, and then I went to the opposite end of the party and I put the bowl by someone who I found intimidating, and then I didn't have to do it. It's the only way to do it. Yeah, just like gorge yourself on all of them at once. Absolutely. Some people use green screens to add in a room that looks good if they don't have a nice decor. Kind of like building a set, but digitally. Yes, they do. They do. I find it strange, because there's always a white wall. And I always find that like a white wall is the most professional you can be. It looks like you're on a photo shoot. So if you just have a wall, just like put your camera against the wall. Do you know what I mean? That's what when I was streaming from the floor, I had 2 meetings that day. 2 quite important meetings that day when I didn't have a desk or a chair and I was sat on the floor. That's what I did. I just moved all the pillows away and I did white wall, and it looked amazing in my personal opinion. A white wall on stream doesn't look as good though. No, it doesn't. Hence the whatever this is. Hence the stuff. Fun fact, I've got bokeh. So that pile there, it looks just like black mound. Like a black mound of stuff. Actually, it's the messiest little section you've ever seen. It's just clothes and dirt and cables. And they're not even my clothes. So, there it is. There it is. It's all very... Kleist, please. So not black mold. No, not specifically. Although I do have a t-shirt or 2 that are a bit moldy, but that's alright. I don't think they're with me. Have you ever tried moving robots with your mind? That has been on the list for so long. I'm thinking a Roomba. But Michael Reeves did that with a car. And people have done it with drones before. So we haven't done it. We haven't done it. But it has been on the list, yeah. Wouldn't be hard. Well, from this point, it wouldn't be hard. Just offloading my points. No, please do. Cherokee, thanks for the follow. And thank you for the hydrate. Whole new meaning to mind sweep. Good job. Good job. Oh no. Voca has been the savior to many, many people who need to hide messy, bad compositions. Yeah, it's really good. It's really, it hides my shame. You know, it's like powder for the face, bokeh for the room. Trying to think of a third example, but I don't know if there is one. Is there one? Oh, reverb for the singer. There it is. Same thing. Thank you for the leave, Peter. I appreciate that. We should change the title actually because it's gonna be a very different stream to the ones we've done before, but it's the same title as the previous streams. So we should get brainstorming. Do my work for me. Thank you so much. Get brainstorming on what you think the other title should be, and I should take one. Did I already take one of these? I don't remember. Oh, did I? I don't know. Two can't hurt. Oh, it feels familiar. Ah! We'll wait half an hour, and if I can't talk still, then I'll take another. You're clearly not fixed, yeet. Neither are you, Clyde. Hi, Saba. Welcome in. How are you doing? Is this a musical stream? It could be. Yeah, no. Okay, so what's going to be different about this stream is that it's an update, first of all. We're going to be talking about a slightly different thing, and we're going to talk about different cases and stuff like that. And mostly I've just got a bunch of drama things to talk to you about and little things, so we're going to be a little more chatty. Last stream, it was very psychology of stalkers, blah, 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 and we're going to cover all of that over again because I wanted to share this update with you guys. But then this stream, we're a little bit more chatty, and we might actually do some EEG. We might, which means I should charge it because it's been a while. It's been a while, and I need to. Yes, so for Shadow of the Erdtree, that's coming out. That DLC is coming out the 21st for Elden Ring. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing it with all 4 commands. I haven't played Elden Ring with 4 commands. I've only ever done it with Pokemon, Pokepals, Pokemon, Pal World. I've only ever done it with Pal World. So we need to set it up and set up a system and figure that out. And I was going to do it off stream, but I might use you guys. I might use you guys to do it now. You know, I might do. So up to you if you want to, or we'll have a chit chat about various different things. Stalking the Stalkers, Psychology Edition. Literally, that's it. If you replace your star necklace with a crossbone, you could marry a Balkan oil tycoon. That is very specific. And as Clive says, very out of context. Does that mean the rest of me is like perfect Balkan oil tycoon feed? Is that what you're saying? But the star throws it off. Is that what that means? What do you need to what do you need to look like to marry a Balkan oil tycoon? This, but sans star. Okay, well that's good to know. Good to know I have options. Is that what it is? Anyway, sorry, you redeemed leave. Bye everyone. I also just wanted to let you guys know that I'm offering another service. I'm starting a new channel. Right, this is real. I'm starting a new channel where I'm offering another service to people that you can like book in and then be on the stream for or be on the YouTube video for. And it's delicing. It's a delicing service. So that's kind of what I've been doing all weekend. Basically, yeah, I got really good at it. And so I just started just doing it for all my friends and everyone loves it. Like everyone's really into being deloused. So I thought if it's something that, you know, you might not have been deloused in a while. I'm bored, this should be quick. I'll give you a discount. Yeah, right? Anyone want to come along for a delousing? When was the last time you've been deloused? Like, I don't even remember the last time I've been deloused. That's really bad. You know, we should get regular delousing because you never know what could be lurking up in your locks. All of your friends have lice. Every single one of them had lice after I gave them to them. But that's what it is. I also offer re-lousing. So if you do have lice, I can delouse. If you don't have lice, I can re-louse. Does that make sense? It's a business model that just keeps giving. It's a never-ending cyclic business model. So I thought that was good. I thought men didn't really get nits because of testosterone. Is that real? That's weird. Boys definitely do, but boys don't really have a lot of... That doesn't matter, does it, Ned? That's a good point. That's a good point. It doesn't really matter about boys. Create the problem, provide the solution. Exactly. I'm gonna put this down because this is actually real. Ew. The context is my dog had fleas. Or nits, actually. It was actually nits. So probably I do now too. That's okay. I'm gonna come to DreamHack and just rub my head on people. It'll be fine. I don't have nits, guys. I swear. I promise. I promise. Because I'm really good at delousing, so I would know. There we go. Boys do get lice. Sorry to burst Ned's bubble. Ned is now crying. You've made Ned cry. Okay? Apologize. Hold on. Guys, we're all debating over old wives' tales. Why don't we just fucking Google it? Hold on, let me fucking Google this. 1 second. Do men not really get nits? It's not impossible, but it is less likely. Ned's right. Can we get claps for Ned? Ned is right. It's less likely for men to get nits because they don't really like the testosterone in the blood. So, good job. I did look it up. Yeah, because I don't... Listen, we live in the era of Google, but Goddle will lie. Who the fuck is that? Even bald people can get them, just not in body hair. You seem to know. Tone, you seem to know quite well, actually. What is this music? No, I'm not allowed to play this. No, stop. I'm not allowed to play this Stop! It keeps doing this to me. I keep saying play only this specific playlist of the same 35 songs over and over and over again. Over and over again. And it won't. It plays other music. And then YouTube are like, oh, your video's been temporarily suspended in all of these countries, which usually it's only like Qatar or something. All VODs will be on YouTube. They are! Apart from that one. When you guys specifically asked that question and I said, of course it will be. That one isn't. But the other ones have been. So, actually that's a good point. Hey, YouTube chat, where are you? Oi, YouTubers. Steve, hi, welcome. How are you doing? Totally forgot you existed. I'm sorry. Welcome in. Can we get hi YouTube? From Twitch, and Twitch, can we get hi people on YouTube, can you say hi Twitch, and people on Twitch, can you say hi YouTube, and then we can all fall in love with each other, make babies or something. Aw, cute. You guys are so sweet. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, everyone. Hi, nerds. Hello, tube people. Just imagining their bodies are like the little air guys that are just going, you know? That's what you guys are like. Waving to myself across the divide. That's beautiful, Kleist. Thank you. Hi, Tone. Welcome in. Tweech! Tweech! There it is. Hi, someone. When do we find out who our baby partners are? You can choose, but then your choice has to get sent for approval to the board. The board is me. So each of you can pick another chatter to have babies with. And then you have to, in your pairs, approach the council, which is me. And I will approve the matches. But spoilies, I'm gonna say no to all of them because I hate love. So that's what it is. Can I choose myself? If you're a plant. Yes. Yes, you may. I don't know who you are. You could be a plant. If you're a plant or like a strange insect, you may. I'm like Tinder. I'm exactly like Tinder. Yes. They call me Tinder Perry. I think it's Hinge now. Or Bumble. I think Tinder became like a sex pit. And then everyone's on Hinge, but Hinge is like weird and annoying and no one's on Hinge. And now it's Bumble, but Bumble's stupid because they let guys make the first approach now. When that used to be the gimmick. Is it Bumble? How's Sapphire doing? I don't hear anything about Sapphire. Sapphire just kind of gets on with it. Sapphire's the lesbian one. I was called a cute worm before. That's very specific. Just imagine you have the worm-like stature. But it's clearly working for you, so carry on. GG. They added compliments that dudes can do. Like specific compliments. Like they can push a button that says, you have nice music taste. And you press the button. Kind of like in Club Penguin when you're not allowed chat, like free chat room access. You can have like specific things you can say, but you're not allowed to type. Is that what it is? Hi, Maddie. Welcome in. I've heard good things about Hinge/Bumble, but I don't know. I'm not on the apps. I don't think about it, though, since my dating pool is non-existent at the minute. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a good way of doing it, I guess, if you don't go outside or see people. Then there's a system where you can window shop. I did one of my friends' Tinder once. I swiped right on everyone. He's desperate. Literally everyone. There was only one girl that I didn't swipe right on, and it was because in her bio she was like, I want money and you need to be 6'5". And I think it was a joke. But then she said her favorite song was something like, I want to eat your skin or something. And I think it was a joke, which kind of makes her awesome. I shouldn't have swiped left. What if she was his soulmate? This is why you don't give the Tinder to the friends. Because I was just going on instinct. I was like, oh. But now thinking about it, that was definitely a joke and she's amazing. Damn it. Damn it. Sounds like my soulmate. God, what if she was my soulmate? Hi, Jerpal. Welcome in. How are you going? I hope you have a wonderful day and thanks for streaming. Thanks for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day too. That's cute. They were meant for each other. I really think they were. Yeah. I use dating apps solely for music recommendations. Have you tried Spotify? Or like Google? You know, you want to know what the hot people are listening to. Is that what it is? So you swipe right on the hot person and you're like, you, hottie McHotface, what do you like to listen to? Cool. I'll adopt my entire personality around that from now on. Is that? Yeah, or YouTube. Yeah, but Spotify doesn't pay for dinner. That's true. Spotify doesn't pay for dinner. That is true. Yes. Did you just roast me for allegedly not going outside? Dion, I didn't even notice. I did though. I did do that. I didn't even realize. I'm sorry. But you do. Listen, Dion, to be fair, Dion, you do go outside a lot. I see a lot of nature pictures with Dion in them on the Discord. Lots of nature pictures. Always in the forest he is. If you would like to share your own pictures, you may do. That's not a demand. It's an invitation of your own free will. Don't dox yourself. I'm not, just to be clear, one more time, I'm not asking you to send me pictures of yourself. I'm not Colleen Ballinger. Whoa, hey, well, allegedly. Do you know what I mean? So, but that's... It's there. Have you moved? I have moved. Here, I guess. But I'm moving again in a month. This is the intermediary space. This is the liminal space of my life. That's why you might recognize it. I'm always in and out of here. This is where I spawn. This is my limbo. Yeah, I like it. It's a good one. It's a good limbo. I enjoy being here. Are you moving right now? Yeah, so the old house is donezo. The old house I don't have keys for anymore. So all of the, you know, for the past year and a half of streams, dead. Absolutely dead in the fucking water, mate. Just scrapped off. Now I'm here, and now I'm moving to a new place in 3 weeks. But I don't know what that place will be or where it is. I haven't got one. I do need to move in 3 weeks though. But I currently have nowhere to move to. But it's okay. It's okay. How much of the deposit did they deduct? That's such a good point. Oh, I can't ask Cleedom. We should have got the deposit back by now unless they queried it, which they shouldn't have because we did it over the weekend with 48 hours deadline, so they wouldn't have time to query it. Haha, play the game, suckers. But I can't ask Cleedom about it because he's goleming. He's goleming. Hi, Silver, thanks for the follow. Hi, Ara, what's up? Done diddly done, exactly. So, put a 1 in the chat if this is so totally you for real as well. Cleedom does this thing. Everyone works differently, right? Depending on how well you do under pressure, what your focus is like, what your time management is like, whether or not you have disabilities, for example. Everyone works differently. Now, what me and Cleedom both do is we don't do anything until the deadline is tomorrow. And then we'll do everything. Now, me, myself, and I will get to that point about a week before the deadline. So in my head, I'll budget how much time I will need. And so I won't do anything, but I'll still give myself enough days to get it done in the end. Or I'll just be late. Cleedom, he does nothing at all. And then the day before the deadline, he does what he calls goleming, like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. He golems, which is where he takes off all his clothes. He hunches up like this. He doesn't eat, drink, talk to anyone. He locks himself in a room and he does nothing but work. And I wish I was exaggerating. I'm not. Final year exams of uni, didn't see him for a month. He drank only Huel, and by the end of it, he couldn't eat the pizza that he ordered. He ordered celebration pizza. At the end of it, he couldn't eat the pizza because his jaw was too weak from all of the Huel. So he's currently downstairs locked in a room as a golem because he's got a project that was due yesterday. So it means I can't text him about our deposit. God damn it! He's dead to the world right now. What a machine. Yeah. Golem boy! Everyone point and laugh at the golem boy! Golem boy! Does he eat the sewer fish raw? One can only assume. One can only assume. Yeah, basically that's what Huel is, no? Yo, hey, Huel, do you want to sponsor me? I'll stop talking smack about you if you sponsor me. Huel? I'm definitely a good person to represent your brand. I am the perfect person to represent your brand. I'm chaotic, and also you're coming a bit across a bit butch. I'm not gonna lie. Huel, you know it, right? Your demographic is coming across a bit butch. Okay, you've got too many crypto boys. Let me balance you out, baby. Okay. Thank you. Sponsor me. I'd rather eat sewer fish than Huel. Damn, literally made me throw up. Damn, that seems unfair. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to Trajectory. Trajectory doesn't speak for us. Trajectory doesn't know Huel. It's gonna be okay. You're not Femperry. Yes, I am. I am full spreading. I'm full man spreading right now. I am. I promise. I would have needed to do some goleming this weekend, but it didn't quite work out. I'm sorry. Do you ever do that thing where you assume that the panic monster will kick in and make you work, and then it just doesn't come? It just doesn't happen. You just never get panicked, and then you miss the deadline. But you just assume that, no, I'm obviously gonna hit the deadline. But then you just don't. Yeah, it stopped working in uni. Damn. It really sucks. It's really like world shaking as well. Yeah, you guys relate to this. I'm sorry. Maddie, thanks for the hydrate again. But Perry needs to explain how the blockchain and NFT works. Yes, I know. I know all about the blockchain. Basically, there is, in the woods somewhere, there is a man. His name is Jimmy. And Jimmy is in the woods. And what he does is he basically just pulls on a rope 24/7. And then what happens when he pulls on the rope is little birds, dead birds, they start dropping from the leaves. And then the ants pick up the birds from the ground and they're like, ah, sick. And they take the birds to their underground web. Right? So Jimmy's pulling on the rope, shaking the dead birds down from the trees. The ants are taking the dead birds into the web. And to get into the web, there's like these metal gates that beep every single time they come in. And they can tell if the ant has a bird or not. And so every time that gate beeps, a little code is etched onto a data system. And that's the blockchain. Ants have webs. These ones do, yes. Maya, thank you for the prime. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's my understanding. So there it is. Have you ever seen posts on Reddit from likely deluded people who think they're being gang stalked? Oh my god, gang stalking is my favorite thing in the world, and it was my favorite stream ever. The poor bastards picked the wrong place to ask for advice. Half of the replies are, gee, I don't know, sounds like you're totally being gang stalked, bro. Yeah, they really found each other. They did. So gang stalking, if you don't know what gang stalking is, it's basically when someone believes that the government or something are stalking them, but not just one person is stalking them, but a bunch of different people, if that makes sense. So basically they'll be walking down the street and there'll be an old lady with her cat or something, and they'll be like, that old lady and her cat are stalking me, and they're part of this organization that are stalking me. And other members of the organization was that dude in the car park last week, that little boy who's going to school in the morning. Everyone is following me. Yeah, everyone knows cats are government spies. Yeah, exactly. That's basically what it is. They're all paranoid and psychotic. Not in the, oh, whimsical, oh, they're so psychotic sense. Like, literally, it's psychosis is what that is. Yeah. And there's more to it than that. It's beautiful. There's the skull to voice transmission, or voice to skull transmission. There's color harassment. There's light harassment. There's all of this stuff, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But yeah, no, they all found each other on Reddit, and they're all telling each other that it's real. And that's helpful, I'm sure. Oh well. The mind-controlling nanobots. Yep. The government wires in your wrists, etc. Yeah, 100%. Have we moved on from pigeons being government drones to cats? Every single animal is a government drone, including other humans. But you live in a small town. Gang stalking is very real here. Everyone's actually watching. I was gonna make a cousin kissing joke, but I won't. I don't know why I would. But I won't do it. Sorry, just because it's closed. Perry, are constraints empowering for creativity or productivity? I don't know. What do you think? I'm not sure. Holy smocks, thanks for the follow. And Talon, thanks for the follow too. World Review, what's up? Welcome in, how are you doing? Avery, a very remote cousin. Uh-huh. Clive's kissed his cousin. A very remote cousin. He lives in a small town. It was one time. They were children. God. I found this out like 8 months ago, and I just can't stop. I can't let it go. Who hasn't kissed a cousin? Aji! What the most people. Most people. Everyone. Put a 1 in the chat if you've kissed your cousin. Y'all weirdos. In all fairness, there's like 6 people in Denmark. Approximately 6. There might be 7 now. Now that I've got the latest numbers on it. Yeah. When we go to Rotterdam... Wait, that's not Denmark. That's Netherlands. They're different countries. World Review, thanks for the follow. They are different countries, I can confirm. Sorry. We're all cousins, so everyone who has ever kissed anyone. Nice little loophole you found for yourself there, Plaid. It's not that I kiss my cousin. We're all cousins of someone, you know. God, we've all kissed our own daughters. I mean, just daughters in general, because we're all daughters of someone. See how that sounds? Not good, not good. Speaking of, so the vegan teacher, I watched an August video this morning. I think he posted it today. Did anyone see that? Don, hi, welcome in. G'day. One of my favorite Onion articles is the government spying on schizophrenics enough? Oh my god, that's beautiful. Is the government spying on schizophrenics? I'm gonna send that to... Oh, I can't send it to Cleedum because he's Gollum. Enough.
Moving on, there are over 1.5 million diagnosed paranoid schizophrenics living in America.
I thought I had this set up. God damn it! Pro streamer my ass. No one has ever called me a pro streamer, which is actually quite rude, but here we go.
Moving on, there are over 1.5 million diagnosed paranoid schizophrenics living in America today. Should our healthcare system be doing more to make sure they are safe to themselves and others by watching over them 24 hours a day?
Yes, we need to monitor these people to make sure they're safe. Hide cameras everywhere they go, in the streets, in their homes, in the eyes of people at the convenience stores where they shop.
Cameras aren't really enough.
I read it in a medical journal recently that a number of doctors have already begun to place microscopic tracking devices under the skin of schizophrenics, which is a great way to make sure that they don't get lost.
Yeah, and this article said here recently that most of them have had no problem with that, and it's a very non-invasive procedure and has proven to work very well
Painless.
so far.
Yeah, schizophrenics often respond well to pleasant memories from their past, and one technique which might give them a little bit of relief is if we have their caregivers' faces surgically reconstructed so they look like the schizophrenic's dead relatives.
Now, some say that we should offer verbal encouragement by implanting speakers in their ears, which would whisper kind words to them 24 hours a day.
Couldn't agree more. I think what would be great would be a recorded voice on a loop saying, everyone around you wants to get you, in reference to help.
Of course, we can't have just one voice. We need to have more than one voice because then they know it's a team effort.
That's right. They feel supported by the community, and that's what we really should be going for.
But we have to do more than just calm them. You know, we have to give them practical advice, too. Like tell them which bus drivers hate them, which manholes are covering up underground government prisons, which statues don't love them anymore, you know, that sort of thing.
This kind of technology would be expensive. Some people have said to slip it into their minds subconsciously, perhaps through coded anagrams that, let's say, we would hide or encrypt into books.
Definitely, definitely. They'll think that they're just reading, you know, standard literature, but actually it will be encoded instructions from people who want to help them.
In newspapers, or inside the tattoos of people on the street.
Just the ingredients on a box of cereal, anything that they might read.
And this is an area where I think that we could really get some help from the government. We could be using this stealth planes and helicopters to be tracking the paranoid schizophrenics as they're going through their daily lives.
We already have the ability to make everything
This just
that's
keeps
a color
going,
red
right? Oh my
signal
God.
data and images back to the government's underground bunkers. And we should be using this technology to help these people.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. You know, I try and do that already. You know, I like to question my schizophrenic friends every now and then just to reassert themselves. Because, you know, when you ask someone a question and they're not really sure about the answer. And so if you say to them, are you sure? Then they have to say it back, right? They have to say it back and they have to say it with confidence, and that helps them feel better about themselves. So like my friend the other day came up to me and was like, hey, so I've been friends with someone for a while, but I think I'm being really paranoid. They haven't met anyone else. Is my friend real? You've seen him, right? And I'll say, are you sure? Because then they can assert their own confidence in it, right? Have you seen them? To be fair, okay, that's obviously a joke, but I did kind of do that at one point. It was an accident, actually, because I genuinely I didn't know he was schizophrenic at the time. I didn't know that he hallucinated. And he asked me, this guy that I'm friends with, you've seen him. He was at this party that you were at. Had lunch with us yesterday. And I genuinely hadn't seen him. I genuinely had not seen him. I wasn't in the same classes. The lunch that we had yesterday, I'd left before he arrived. I was at the party, but I saw a lot of people. I have no idea who was there. And I genuinely, and I asked him, can you describe this person? I genuinely did not. I didn't meet this guy. I don't know who he was talking about. So I was literally like, no, I've never seen this person before in my life. And he didn't come to school the next day. But the guy was real. And it got cleared up pretty quickly. I didn't know. Just answering the questions. Have you seen my friend? No. That's on him for asking the wrong person. Yeah, why don't you ask someone that you know saw him? Or he said a man at the hospital. I didn't know why he was asking. So it's fine. Perry sending people into psychoses for funsies. I think you knew. I did know he was schizophrenic. I did. But I didn't know that's why he was asking. But I could have guessed. But I was just answering honestly. He also did come to school the next day. It wasn't that bad. I think he could have led with I'm schizophrenic. Could you help me out here? I mean, doesn't that defeat the purpose of asking questions? You know, because that's not that I'm allowed to give anyone any advice, but if you are hallucinating friends or, you know, anything, a good way of doing it is just asking a very normal question. You know, if you're hallucinating voices, just go, do you hear something? Because I swear to God, if someone is next to you and they're hearing voices going, everyone's out to get you, everyone hates you, everything's terrible, they're gonna know. And so if you're just like, do you hear something? And they say, no, what? Then you know you're hallucinating, GG, and you can carry on. Or if there's a demon in the corner, you gesture over to the corner and you're like, what's that? And they say, what? They're not gonna say what if there's a demon in the corner. Do you know what I mean? So then you know, and you can be like, oh, never mind. I thought nothing. Easy. What if they're the one whispering the words? Better friends. You need better friends. Oh no. You need to out crazy them so they have to up their game. Do you know what might be quite fun? Don't do this. This is so immoral. But do you know what might be quite fun? As long as they're on board with it as well and you have that sort of relationship. If someone is hallucinating a demon and you know that's what they do sometimes. For instance, I have one friend who sees demons all the time wherever he goes. Now, if he asked me, what's that over there? It might be something I say that's like, oh, the demon? But you'd have to clear it up really quickly, and you have to make sure you have that sort of relationship. You have to make sure he's not actually going to freak out, blah, 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 blah. You know, you can judge the context. But if I can guess, like, I could guess probably what he's seeing, so then I can be, oh, the demon. Don't do that. Don't do that. But anyway, that would be funny. He did that to me once, actually. I saw a spider. Now, the spider I saw was real. But he, for the entire day, was telling me how the spider wasn't real. And then right at the end of the day, he was like, by the way, I know the spider was real. And I wanted to murder him. So, he gets what he's given. Gotta read the room, it's true. Why does Perry only have Delulu friends? I have, before streaming, not including streamers, IRL from where I live. I have maybe 5 friends. Tentatively on a good day. Perhaps. They're better friends with each other. Anyway, I have maybe five friends. Of those 5, 4 of them hallucinate. But they hallucinate different things. It's like different things. So it's fine. They don't all hallucinate the same things. So it's fine. We've got one demon guy. No, Perry, you hallucinate the friends. Damn it. Damn it. Sane on average. Exactly. It all balances out. Yeah. If 4 of your 5 friends hallucinate, how confident in your own existence are you? I'm never confident of that. I feel like, you know, when people are like, they have that paranoia that they're the only real thing and everyone else around you is not real, they're a lie, and you're the only, how would you know, right? If you're in the Matrix, everyone else is a simulation, or everyone else is a robot, whatever it is. I kind of have that the other way around. I kind of think, what if I'm not real? And not necessarily that everyone else is real as well. But what if I'm not real? And they might be real, but they don't know that I'm not real. Does that make sense? It's like inverse solipsism. Or it might just be solipsism. No? Yeah, to be fair, if I'm not real, then who are you? What does that say about you guys? That would be worrying. No, I might just be pixels. Are you a stalker? Hi, Thoughts. Welcome in. How are you doing? Imposter solipsism. That's literally what it is. Did you all meet in a waiting room at the psychiatrist? No. State school. So... You could be AI. Right now, you're only pixels. To be fair, you guys are only pixels to me as well. So, fuck you. You're just random colors and text on the screen. I don't even know what's going on. You're blurred together. That's not true. Love you, chat. State school. Yeah, basically the same thing, to be fair. It's basically the same thing. Right! Yes, but we're funny. You are very funny. Yeah, you are. Some of you might actually be AI. It's true, like, genuinely. Now, I'm not sure who, and I'm not sure how many. But probably one of you. There's an imposter Amogus. I'm sure about it. I'm sure about it. Right. We have things to talk about. So, if you guys don't know about Fiona Harvey, put a 1 in the chat if you know about Fiona Harvey. Put a 2 in the chat if you know about Fiona Harvey and you were at my stream on Fiona Harvey. I did 2 streams on Fiona Harvey, so put a 1 or a 2 in the chat for any of those things. I've lost track of the numbers. Put a 3 in the chat if you have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. Now, Fiona Harvey, I'm going to tell you anyway, regardless of what numbers you put in, but I'm glad you feel included. Hi, everyone. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, most people don't know. That's actually good. I'm actually really glad that most people don't know, because then this will be fresh for a lot of you. Yay! I'm accidentally not repeating content. This is part 3 of those streams. Yes, it is. There will hopefully be a part 4 in the distant future, but that's dependent on whether or not more information comes out. So... Fiona Harvey. There was a TV show called Baby Reindeer. Baby Reindeer is a TV show that's dramatized but based on a true story, where a dude was being stalked by a lady and she got kind of insane and there was a whole bunch of stuff going on. It was violent, it was scary. There were 41,000 emails sent to him, etc, etc, etc. That one, yeah. So after the show came out, the woman that the stalker was based on, the real version, came out and was like, that this is me, this is meant to be me, and this is defamatory. So the character's name is Martha, the stalker. The woman's name is Fiona Harvey. And Fiona Harvey, the first thing she did, classic British person, the first thing she did was go on Piers Morgan. She went on Piers Morgan to say how Richard Gadd is psychotic, delusional, he made the whole thing up. I sent maybe 10 emails and a letter once, but then she kept changing that number. The interview was so unbelievably wild. And she was basically like, this is all nonsense. None of this is true. He's defamed me. I'm gonna sue Netflix for money. She has now sued Netflix for 170 million, but we don't know any more information about that. So that's why I'm saying there might be a part 4 once the court happens in a while. Because in court, they're going to have to share evidence that she was a stalker, right? So we might see the 41,000 emails. We've seen all of her tweets. Pretty freaking incriminating. We can go through it again, just like briefly, just to fill everyone in. But she said that she only tweeted him a handful of times. Barely ever. And then that number turned out to be 18, but she thought that was barely ever. And then we saw some of the tweets and it was exactly what he said they were. And it was, she said that she didn't have his number. She never called him, never text messaged him, etc. But in the tweets, it was like, Richard, why won't you call me? And she said, oh, I only really knew him for 2 months, but the tweets were over the course of a year and a half. So I guess we'll find out. Now she sued Netflix for 170 million for defamation. I guess we'll find out. But anyway, that's not actually what today's stream is on, because there is another woman. I don't know if you remember me mentioning, But this isn't the first time that Fiona Harvey allegedly has stalked someone. There's another woman called Laura, and she is the wife of a politician who got absolutely endlessly stalked, allegedly, by Fiona Harvey. And basically said that when she saw the Baby Reindeer show, it was uncanny and made her feel really ill because it was the exact same thing. So her name is Laura Ray. She said that the harassment happened after... Yes, sorry, I thought I got her mixed up with someone else. No, okay. So Laura Ray was the employer of Fiona Harvey and the wife of a politician that got harassed a bunch. But she was the employer of Fiona Harvey, and she fired her, remember? And it got really, really bad. Fiona Harvey didn't want to leave. She kept waiting outside the office, allegedly, and like harassing people and yelling insults at people and calling people up and leaving really creepy voicemails. And it got so bad that they had to give special devices to the other employees. Yeah, they gave them like panic buttons or something to panic alarms to her staff in case they saw or were harassed by Fiona, because she got fired after she only worked there for about a week. So they put out court orders and stuff. Eventually it didn't end up going through, but there is evidence of this coming to a legal head. So damn. Now, as a proper British person, guess what Laura did now that she's seen Baby Reindeer? She's seen the woman who allegedly was stalking her and her husband, and she's seen a representation of it, and she's seen her now go on show saying that it's all nonsense. Guess what Laura did? She went on Piers Morgan. Yes, she did. And that's the stream. Now, if you don't know who Piers Morgan is, he's I can't say that word. He's a cunt. But he's basically trash news for people who think they're not watching trash. Do you know what I mean? He's like Love Island for Tories, is what he is. He's drama for old men who invest in the stock market through their sons or something. Do you know what I mean? He's trash in a posh demeanor. Yes. It's Britain's Fox News. Exactly. That's what Piers Morgan is. So that's why he's hosting this, I guess. Piers Morgan always has the worst takes on everything. That's why people commonly and beautifully refer to him as Piers Morgan. But I haven't seen this. I don't know what his take will be here. And let's do it. Drama for proclaimed intellectuals. Exactly. Thank you, Tasmania. Piers is trash. The UK managed to export to the US for a couple of years, but he was returned to sender. Oh my god, he did, didn't he? He did fuck off to the US and they didn't want him. All right, let's go.
Extremely concerned that this woman might also be moving close to where I live.
Do you feel
threatened by that? I always felt threatened. I just never knew what she was capable of. She was rude to staff. She shouted at people. She was inappropriate with a meal. She threw a book across the office and hit somebody with it. She tried to follow a male member of staff.
What is the music?
I was horrified. She just went completely crazy.
Oh, I'm so involved. What an intro.
Very similar.
It's making me feel a bit seasick.
Richard Gadd's show.
I also can't hear a single thing she's saying. I'm going to go ahead and skip this intro and just go straight into the show. So before we watch this, actually, let me give you some context about Fiona Harvey, because why should you care? Why should you care about this? Why should you? That's a very good question. So Baby Reindeer was, very quickly, I'll just brief you all. Baby Reindeer. Baby Reindeer is a very, 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 very popular show that got a lot of attention. And as I said, it's about character Martha, real life Fiona Harvey, who was stalking this comedian. It was beautiful, it was poignant, it was wonderful, it was so raw and disturbing in lots of different ways. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Fiona Harvey came out afterwards and was like, hey, this is actually about me and it's defamatory. Now, a few things were said by Fiona. She said that the main thing, it genuinely did seem like the main thing that she's upset by in this documentary isn't necessarily the fact that Richard said she stalked him. It was that
they presented her as not very attractive. So this is the lady that played her there on the first video. That's the lady who played her. This is the real life Fiona. And she said that it was really upsetting and stupid that someone like Jessica was made to play her because Jessica is fat. And in real life, Fiona's really, really, really hot. I think Jessica's beautiful, but anyway, anyway, she thought she was gorgeous. Yeah, she really did. And she's really, really, I mean, she's not gorgeous, but that's not really the point. She's really, Delulu to the Endulu. Maybe a little bit. It does seem on brand. It really does. So then, as she went on Piers Morgan, and it was kind of incredibly stressful. Can I find the original? I struggle finding the original because people are making so many videos on it because it's such a popular topic right now, which means I can never, ever find it. We're going to scroll through his... Oh, it's such trash TV. I don't know why I say it like that. I kind of really like it. Okay, there we go. So, yes, she went on Piers Morgan, and this whole interview was kind of a shit show. It was incredibly all over the place. Very much as every episode. It's kind of really, really all over the place. She says that she never messaged him. Well, she tweeted him 18 times. She has 5 phones and 6 emails or something like that. And I never sent him anything except 1 handwritten letter. Sorry, 2 handwritten letters. Sorry, 3 handwritten letters. And by the end of the interview, she basically confessed to a whole bunch of stuff that she thought was fine and normal. She says that she has a photographic memory. But then every single question about, how long have you known him? When did you meet him? When did you stop talking to him? Every single answer is, I don't remember. And in this interview, Laura is brought up. So the previous accusation. So Fiona argues that the reason why Richard made that show about her, defaming her and saying that she was a stalker, was because Richard saw an article where it said that Fiona was harassing Laura from before. And there is an article, there is a court case, there is a whole legal thing about Fiona being not charged, but something just south of charged of harassing and stalking Laura. And so she's saying that Richard kind of just saw that and then invented a fiction around it. So that part is true, though. That part is true. Now she said, that's a whole fiction. I didn't do anything to Richard. Kind of contradicted herself everywhere. Everyone's seeing everyone's looking at clips of this all the time, and it is the biggest, what's the word? I guess shit show that's ever been. And now Laura, the first victim, is on Piers Morgan. There's a little recap.
Dad's character in Baby Reindeer goes looking for evidence about his stalker.
Even Piers called her out. Yeah, he did.
He finds news reports with chilling echoes of his own experiences.
This is a clip from the show.
I sat there for hours taking it all in, piecing together her whole timeline. Her graduate job, how she got fired for inappropriate behavior with the boss.
That thing about stalking a deaf child and intimidating a child of these PMs. Oh, not PMs. These politicians. That's true.
She started hanging around outside his house, then falsely reporting him to the police for abusing his disabled child. This other time she attacked his mother in the street, a 4.5-year prison sentence.
As with Fiona Harvey herself, it didn't take long for the real identity of the person at the heart of that story to become widespread public knowledge. Her name is Laura Ray, and as the apparently fictional headline suggests, she is a lawyer who claims that Fiona Harvey stalked and harassed her and her family many years before she ever met Gad. I put those claims to Fiona Harvey during our interview. The Sun reported an interview with Laura Ray.
A problem here that's going to keep coming up is that in the show, they said she had a 4.5-year prison sentence and that she got a sentence at the end for Richard, but she has never been in prison. There's no record of her being in prison. So
who you've referenced, who accused you of inappropriate behaviour whilst you worked with her.
She headhunted me from another firm because she needed someone to do employment law, and I'm pretty good at employment law, so...
She said that she had to sack you days later because you were completely incapable of behaving yourself.
I walked. Her staff were really, really rude to me.
She then said that following you leaving, obviously very quickly, that you then harassed her. Mrs. Ray said she was so frightened she issued workers at her firm with personal alarms. You were then served an interim interdict to stop you from contacting the lawyer or her politician husband.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
An interim
We have checked this
interdict.
out. There is no interim interdict in Scotland.
Why? Well, after the interview, which has now been...
There was a lot of projection. Yeah, we saw that a lot. There was a lot. You know, he would ask, oh, how come Richard started talking to you? Were you not into him romantically at all? And she was like, no, I would never be into him. He's gross and ugly. Like, there was a lot of that going on in the interview. Oh, no, I didn't stalk them. They were really rude to me. He was in love with me. He was trying to sleep with me. I wasn't trying to sleep with him.
Seen by nearly 14 million people on the Uncensored YouTube channel alone.
Stalking a deaf child must be
Laura
pretty
contacted
easy.
me and said she'd like her opportunity to respond. And she
Stop.
joins me now in the studio. Laura,
All right,
thank
there's
you very much for
Laura.
coming down
Go
from
on,
Scotland
Laura.
for this. I can only imagine that this is something that you hoped had disappeared from your life a long time ago, but because of the Netflix series and how incredibly successful it's been, one of the most watched series in living memory, it's brought it all back to your door and your family and what you say you went through at the hands of Fiona Harvey. So first of all, when did you know Netflix were doing a series?
Well, I found out about 5 weeks ago. The Mail and Sunday contacted me and asked me, had I seen Baby Ray?
Little Nap Time says, if I had a stalker like this, I'd simply marry her and live happily ever after. Come stalk me while watching the game, honey. Put a one in the chat if you'd marry Fiona Harvey if she was stalking you. It depends, like, who's stalking me? Do you know what I mean? Because I'm going to be honest. Okay, let's say a big titty goth girl is stalking you. There's a big titty goth girl who's stalking you. And, you know, she wants a piece of the action and she wants to be with you forever. And she, like, you know, every now and then sneaks a vial of your blood and wears it around her neck. I might be okay with that. What kind of ring? I might be okay with, I can fix her. Yeah. You know, like she tattooed your name into her thigh. What if she's an emo? Well, that's the point. I hope that she is. How big are we talking? Whatever you like, whatever you want. You know, I'll buy her vials myself. Yeah, I'll be taking the blood from my own legs. You can have them. I'll make you shoes out of my blood. What's there to fix? She's perfect.
Reindeer, and I had no idea what they were talking about. So they suggested I go and watch an episode of it, which I did. And then I spoke to them, and I couldn't believe it. From the very beginning, it was obvious it was the same woman. It was Fiona Harvey. You know, the actress who does a very good job, sounds like her, looks like her, mimicked her to a T.
And uses the same phrases which they found on the real Fiona Harvey's Twitter account.
Yes, I mean, I have a file full of...
I love that I keep taking words of her accent, but everyone in the chat is doing it too. Nonsense.
papers, which are letters from her, emails, faxes.
The actress
and
triggered
so
her
forth.
PTSD. So good.
And it's all identical.
Wow.
And you yourself were identified very quickly from the series because there could only have been one Scottish lawyer who'd been through this experience with Fiona Harvey because it was all documented.
Well, I think it's because it was so unusual that she was a female stalker stalking another female. And so I was actually identified by the press before she was. I think the press sort of held back a bit with her for about a week. And then I think it was the Sun who came out and said who she was.
This was the Sunday Mail, one of the top Scottish
Elijah
papers
says,
at the
what's
time.
Fiona's OnlyFans?
MP wife and the stalker, your husband Jimmy was an MP at the time.
Yeah.
And it was a front page splash story. So this wasn't a quiet, small thing. This was a massive news story in Scotland that people would have been aware of.
It was indeed, yes.
So when you realised that your story was being recounted, albeit with the names changed, in Baby Reindeer, how did it make you feel?
Well, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe what was going on, and I was in a state of shock for about a week.
Really?
Yeah.
It had a really bad effect on you?
It had a very bad effect on me, and even now after 5 weeks or so, when I'm getting over it a bit, it's still very triggering every time I see something. I mean, I've never watched YouTube before, apart from when I saw your programme a few weeks ago. And yet every day there
she's
are
the
more
victim of the stalking.
comments and people, psychiatrists and so on, going on, talking about the show, analysing your interview, and it just all triggers.
This accent cannot be real. Can you guys not understand? You can't understand what she says? Are you guys struggling with her accent? Scottish? Nonsense. We're all victims of her accent. You guys can understand it perfectly fine, but some people are struggling. We do have subtitles. Do let me know if you struggle, because Scottish is one of those accents where some people really can't do it. There are levels, though. I feel like she's okay compared to some other. Maybe it's too hard for non-native English speakers. We need Skylabs to translate. We do. Second language English would be rough. I'm sorry. Nonsense.
Everything back to me every time I see it. It's very, very distressing.
Have you been emotional about this?
I have, yes.
You've been left to tears from it?
Well, yes.
He's really pushing.
I'm a
oh yeah, did you cry?
Person. I'm an
did you cry? Did you fall
all
down and cry? Were you sobbing your eyes out like tears? God, lay off her.
Anxious and upset, and particularly since a few weeks ago, I thought she was down in London, but a few weeks ago, we were told that in the little.
Can you cry for me, Fiona? Cry right now.
Which is where she's from originally. She's now been looking to buy a house, we've been told. Now, I don't know whether that's true, but apparently journalists were going round the doors in Baclavia about 2 weeks ago asking about this. So I'm extremely concerned that this woman not only is abusing me on the internet, on her Facebook pages, and on every opportunity she can, defaming me, but she might also be moving close to where I live.
Do you feel threatened by that?
I do feel threatened. I always felt threatened by her because I just never knew what she was capable of.
That is a bit weird.
Let's go back to when you...
Why would she move next to where she lived? Unless it's like a coincidence. I don't know, man. Scotland's quite big. It's quite big. Unless you're both moving to the same city, big kitty, then fine. But if they're both moving to a tiny town in Inverness, that's a little weird. I don't know. I actually don't remember what Inverness is. Is that a town? Is that a city? Or is it like a county? Scottish people. Do we have any Scottish people in chat right now? Anyone Scottish? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. So the woman that denies stalking anyone is kind of stalking right now. A little bit. Yeah, Scot check. Can we have a little Scot check for the chat? Inverness is a city. We could literally Google, you're right. Inverness. It's a city with 40,000 people down. Oh, it looks pretty. Oh, it's nice. I lived in St Andrews for a little bit. I lived in and so then I visited Dundee a lot in Perth. It's not even a good accent. It doesn't even make sense. Anyway, Scotland's cool. Scotland's a quirky place for quirky dudes.
You first encountered her.
Yeah.
Obviously, she says that you headhunted her to be a specialist in the employment law at your firm at the time. Is that true?
No. She was looking for a traineeship. She had been looking for a traineeship for about 4 years and couldn't get anyone to take her on, or at least I think she'd been taken on twice before me, but for very brief periods of time. So you're supposed to get a traineeship within 2 years of getting your legal diploma. She must have got several extensions on that because she was way out of time. So I received quite a number of letters from her. And they were in such familiar terms that I thought this must be somebody I've met somewhere, perhaps through the Labour Party. So then when I got engaged to Jimmy, she sent me a congratulations card. So I then got another letter from her saying, "Oh, I'm disappointed you haven't interviewed me for a traineeship." And I felt rather bad about that if this was somebody that I'd met and perhaps overlooked. So I invited her to come in and see me.
So Fiona Harvey, now we don't know who's lying, But Fiona Harvey said that, no. This bitch Laura, she headhunted me. She wanted me to do her a favor because I'm good at my job. Now, Laura's saying, no, she kind of basically begged me for an interview and I felt bad because we met. I'm not saying that Fiona Harvey's lying.
Talk to me. And I have to say, she was reasonably credible. I'm not daft, you know, she didn't behave in the way she subsequently behaved, you know, during the interview. But I did have a few concerns about her. She went into a bit of detail with me about her family circumstances.
She overshared about her family.
But she made me feel very sorry for her. And I said, okay. She said, I've never had anybody give me a chance. Would you please help me out here? I've got no money, etc. So I said, okay.
She saying that Fiona begged her for the job, made her feel sorry for her. And she gave her the job out of the goodness of her heart. Oh man.
She only worked for me for 2 weeks.
Savage.
Did you believe that she was qualified?
Oh no, I knew she wasn't qualified. She was looking for a traineeship. Trainees do menial jobs like, you know, at the start filing or, you know, sitting in and things. You know, you're training them. They're not doing anything of any great worth for you. So you need to have a 2-year training.
But she said she had.
See, that's a good point because Fiona was like, "Oh yeah, she headhunted me because I was really good. They needed someone for a specific job, and I was really good at that job." But we know for sure because it's been documented in those articles and stuff that it was a traineeship. So a trainee equals intern. Not always. It depends on the job. That's why I didn't pick up on that straight away because a trainee psychologist isn't an intern psychologist. To be a trainee psychologist, you'd already need 2 years worth of experience and 6 years of higher education. So it's not the same thing. I think you still do stuff. It's not the same thing as being an intern. But I think for this, a traineeship in a law firm, she's saying it's filing, basically. A week later, she's handing out personal safety devices. Damn!
Law degree.
Not doing anything of great
but
worth.
that's not enough.
No, it's not full legal training. But do you think that she even had the law degree?
I think she had the law degree because in my file of papers, I do have a copy of something from the Law Society where it does state that she's got a law degree. So I believe she has a law degree. And I believe that some years later she got the diploma in law, which you require to have in Scotland.
Do you think she ever practiced law?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think she ever got a traineeship in Scotland. She, I know for sure, worked with another firm after myself and was fired from there and caused that firm a lot of grief.
She claimed in our interview that you
she
didn't
got
even
fired
know the
afterwards
name
and
of
she
her
doesn't
own
even
firm.
think she was practicing law before.
I mean, my firm was called L&L Lawrence at the time I employed her. We subsequently amalgamated with a much larger firm called Drummond Miller, who took over ourselves and another trade union firm called McPhail's. So to keep the connection with the firms and to keep the goodwill, they called us the McPhail-Lawrence Partnership in Glasgow. And then a few years later, we were all subsumed into Drummond Miller.
Once she started working for you...
This lady's not claiming photographic memory, but she does have documents. Yeah, and documents tend to win out over photographic memory, especially when you keep saying I don't remember something. I'm not an expert on photographic memory, I'm really not, but usually you do remember a lot of stuff when you have photographic memory, or you can, right? Yikes. Thoughts so far. And let's remember, we're not being mean to Fiona because I think she is very, very, very unwell. Stalkers are unwell. Let's do a little bit of a stalker fact file while we're here again. So, stalkers, the reason why they do what they do, if she is one, the reason why they do what they do is they basically latch on to someone that represents something. So it can be anything. It can be triggered by a certain memory or a certain association with something that they had in their childhood or from a good memory or whatever, but they latch on to one person and then that person represents one of two things. They either represent something that's going to fix everything that's wrong with them, fix all their problems. And that's usually the romantic stalkers. And then you've got the other type. There's lots of different types, but these are the main two. The other type is you are the reason why I suffer. You are the reason why everything's terrible. If I killed you, my life would be better. Right? Like barnacles. Exactly. Like sexy barnacles. So, In this case, it would be a romantic stalking situation. The idea is that Fiona Harvey allegedly latched on to Richard Gadd because he reminded her of a stuffed toy that she had in her, she admits, tumultuous childhood, which was a very positive memory. And then the idea, the delusion, was that he was the one for her and could fix all of her problems, basically. Hence the stalking. So what happens from that point, you get this idea about someone. They become an idea. You get a little bit obsessed. You flesh out this idea as if they're a character in a book or something. You flesh out this idea. You get a little bit obsessed with them. You think, damn, I finally found this amazing person. And then you find out more and more information to flesh out this character more, to make it real. The delulu starts creeping in because you think, oh, they like me back, or this means this, or ha 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 ha, you know, the whole unrequited stuff. I feel like we've all done that at some point. Wishful thinking. You know, did she brush my arm on purpose, or was it an accident? I don't know. You know, that sort of thing. But that happens more and more and more, and then all of a sudden their behavior becomes less acceptable because the feelings are just too strong. So they will start following them home or calling them up loads and loads and loads because they want to talk to me, right? They'll email and email and email, and then maybe if they feel threatened or upset, that can start turning. Now, the romantic stalkers that get rejected are the most dangerous ones, not actually the hate stalkers. Oh, Gans, hi, welcome in. How are you doing? Not actually the hate stalkers. The hate stalkers, so she would have, Fiona Harvey would have stalked Laura as a hate stalker. Laura fired me. She's the reason why everything's terrible. She's out to get me. She's the reason I've not had luck in my law career beforehand. And if she just stopped being such a bitch, then my life would be perfect. Hence the obsession, stalking of Laura. With Richard, it was the other way around. But actually it gets more dangerous because you invest everything into that person. They are the cure for you. They are the cure for your entire sadness. And so when they reject you eventually and they say, bro, you need to get away from me. Stop calling me. They call the police or whatever it is. When they reject you eventually, simultaneously, they are the person that you want and you don't want anyone else to have, but they're also the person who took away the thing that you want, the thing that will fix. So you hate them. You don't want anyone else to have them. Stabby wabby. Stalking. But any of us can become stalkers. See, this is the thing about like everything. This is the thing about everything, right? Any form of being abusive towards a partner or anger issues or delulu or psychosis or stalking or any of these things, anyone can do it. It could happen to any of us. Not just us being victims, but we can also do those behaviors, which is why it's important to keep a little eye on it, keep a little track on it. Exactly. Lots of triggers, loads. I'm a stalker. Hi, Loward, welcome in. What's that like for you? How's that going? It's everyone's favorite British man. I know I should skip on from him. What do you want to be when you grow up? A stalker. Anyone can do it? You can. Anyone can be a stalker. Except Plaid, because Plaid's far too depressed for all that. Which, you know, go off. I don't know. I think they might be related. The whole like depression, anxiety, paranoia stuff. I think that is that's related. You might be more of a risk than you think. George, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Stalker. I love that video game series. I'm neurologically incapable of growing up. Like in that movie, Poor Things, where she's a woman with the mind of a baby. What's the point of stalking? So the goal is, I think the goal is to make that person fix everything for you. I think the goal is, if they loved me back, I'd finally be happy. And they don't realize that their behavior is weird. Or they get angry because, aren't we in a relationship? Why aren't you answering my calls? And then it can get really upsetting and really anxiety driven because they start to slowly realize that actually you're not fixing my problems. And this is true actually just for people getting in relationships in general. When you think that having a girlfriend or having a boyfriend will fix all your issues, right? And then you do get a girlfriend and boyfriend, and they don't fix all your issues because they don't. Your issues are yours. They don't fix your issues. Then that can be really upsetting. And a lot of the time you can blame that person. Oh, I'm just not with the right person. Oh, they keep doing X, Y, and Z, or they're suspicious and they're making me paranoid that they're cheating on me and that they should just stop doing that. When really, it's just because you're disappointed that you still have the same problems. They're fine most of the time. It just didn't work. Self-reflection would be more helpful. Yeah, exactly. Sounds like marriage, right? Exactly. So I think the goal for the stalker, at least the romantic stalker, but I guess we should talk about the hate stalkers because that's in this context with Laura. The goal of that is if I can achieve my goal, if I can achieve getting super close to this person, making them love me, or if I can achieve making this person go away and admit that they've done wrong, and if I can make this person come out publicly and say that I'm wonderful and actually they didn't want to fire me or they didn't want to do all these things, or if I can kill this person and get them out of everyone's lives forever, then I'll finally be happy. Do I believe in marriage? I don't really know what that means. Like, actually, genuinely. It exists, but I'm sure that's not what that means. I don't really know enough about it, I think. I don't know whether or not the institution of marriage should exist. I don't know. It feels pretty political. I'm not sure. There are more than 2 types. Yes, there are 5, I think. Let me check my notes. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 types of stalking, but you can transition to other types. So, the first one is the intimacy seeker. So I've been calling them romantic ones. Fiona and Richard. Intimacy seeker. They love them. They want them to love me back. And then you've got stalkers that just aren't very good at it. Magito, hi, welcome. It's stalkers that just aren't, they're just not very good at the whole stalking thing. So they are intimacy seekers, but they just don't really, they kind of do it from afar. So they look like a very different type of stalker. They're called incompetent suitors. And then you've got the resentful ones. Those are the scary ones. You suck. If you didn't exist anymore, I'd be happy now. I hate you. I'm going to set your house on fire. Then you've got the predatory ones. I'm going to wait in a corridor and then grape you. Their goal is always to do a crime. The predatory ones. Yeah. It's like a precursor to a lot of Jeffrey Dahmer or something. I don't know. And then you've got the rejected ones. So the rejected ones could be the intimacy, the romantic ones who then got rejected. Leave me alone, bitch! Or it could be exes. So if your ex starts stalking you because you broke up with them, those are the real scary ones. Even of the predators, in terms of like statistically and how often crimes actually do occur, even compared to the predators, the rejected and the exes are still the most scary types of stalkers and result in the most number of crimes and murders and whatever. Yeah. Yeah, because it's fueled by a mixture of a desire for reconciliation, but also hatred. If I can't have you, no one can, and you ruined my whole life, bitch. And they know, oh yeah, they know way more about you too. That's probably a factor. So there it is. Incompetent suitor is the most polite name, isn't it, Jazz? So those are the 5. Those are the 5. Anyway, let's keep going. Now, as a person who is prone to stalking, like allegedly Fiona Harvey is, you don't have to just be one kind of stalker. Like, you aren't just one kind of stalker. You can be prone to stalking behavior, which means that at any point in time, you can be any kind of stalker you want. So she would have been allegedly a resentful stalker of Laura, but an intimacy seeker and then rejected stalker of Richard. Is stalking nature or nurture? But a little both. I would say more nurture. Most things are more nurture. But basically stalking comes from things going really wrong, usually in your early childhood, and not really having any close bonds with anyone, being really weird about attachment, really weird about relationships, not trusting anybody, and then probably having a bunch of different self-esteem issues and problem issues and stuff like that. And then eventually you'll latch onto someone. It causes the delulu. Stalking is really good though. Otherwise, your tomatoes grow all over the place. It's just not the best for a good harvest, right? Yeah, it has its purposes, like tomatoes. Exactly. You should learn some unagi. Exactly. That would be, yes. Yeah, for the predators. Sure. Let me just check again, just in case I missed anything. Self-esteem, attachment, obsessiveness, blah, 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 blah. And then there's like links to personality disorders such as BPD or borderline personality, and then blah, 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 all this other stuff. But it's less relevant. Basically, if you're prone to stalking behaviors, you might also have other conditions. How do we get better at stalking? I don't think that's a good piece of advice I should be giving out on Twitch. If you want to get good at stalking, just pretend that you're not stalking. You can stalk someone but they can't know that you have, you know? Don't call them 24/7. Don't text them 41,000 times in 2 years. Don't randomly show up at their house. Just be super proper normal, and then they won't even know. Yeah, the feelings of infatuation and stuff are very similar, for sure. Can you help your stalking behaviors? Yes, we all have the ability. We all have the ability to monitor what we're doing and what we're thinking. We all have the ability to monitor our thoughts and feelings and figure out when something's gone a little bit weird. It might be hard and you might not think to do it. It's a skill that you learn, but we can all clock if we're being paranoid or if we're doing something. And we definitely can all clock whether or not someone else is feeling uncomfortable. So it can be really, really tricky. We do. So it can be really, really tricky, and you might not necessarily know, especially if this has been a problem you've had for your entire life. But it's the biggest bit of therapy, is monitoring your thoughts and feelings and figuring out what's paranoid and what's real, you know? So people with BPD, for example, they can sometimes suffer from like traits of jealousy and things like that in relationships. That's just one thing. So they can feel really paranoid sometimes, and they could look at a hairband on the floor and be like, my boyfriend's cheating on me, and start yelling at him and throwing things at him, and they'll think that that's real. It'll be really, really hard to take away the idea of this evidence that I found, this hairband on the floor, which is 100% concrete evidence that my boyfriend is cheating on me. And that feels like that makes sense. And that it's not a paranoid thought. You're just standing up for yourself. You're just being sensible. But actually, if you were to take yourself outside of it and look back on the circumstance, you'd see that that's paranoid. The solution is to be paranoid about the paranoid thoughts. Yes! Second guess everything. Everything is a lie. This hair is too long. Whose is it? Oh yeah, I've had a moment like that and then realized, oh, it's his. It's still his. Just from a different place on the head. Oh, it's mine. No, my hair's not that light. Oh, it's in the sun. Okay. It's not paranoia if they really are cheating on you. See, that's another very good point. Yeah, that's true. I third guess everything. Hashtag another level. You're just winning. You're winning. No boy's ever gonna cheat on you, Tone. Not one time. Can you stalk an organization? I think you can stalk whatever you want. I think you can. It might be a bit harder, and it's probably more rare. You'd have to personify the organization, I think. Like, let's say you were really into Starlink or something. I think Starlink would have to be a figure. It's like Starlink. I want to suck Starlink's dick. Do you know what I mean? Maybe? I don't know. Fact check me on that one. I'm not sure. When driving a car at night, I'll occasionally see headlights follow me for a few blocks, then turn away. So you just see another car on the road when you're driving. You're definitely being stalked. You must keep the hose away from your golem boy. Everyone wants him. The satellite constellation be packing. Rockets are very phallic. They are, it's true. Will Starlink build a space station to dock their giant rockets? Stop. Now this is just porn. Let's keep going. This is Laura, allegedly got stalked, otherwise known as rejected. What's it called? Resentment stalked by Fiona Harvey.
What happened?
Well, I was out of the office quite a lot because we had an office in Glasgow, an office in Edinburgh. So she was put onto a desk where what she had to do was jot down details of anyone phoning on our accident hotline. Now, this was the days before the internet. So we had a special phone number, a free phone number. Members of the public could phone if they wanted advice about an accident. So all she had to do was to write down the name and address of the people, take some basic details, and then get a solicitor to phone them. She wouldn't have been capable of giving advice because she had no experience.
Right.
She'd never done anything.
So it was a clerk job, really.
Yeah.
She was a clerk, okay. She wasn't actually doing any lawyering.
A solicitor's not quite a clerk, but I mean, they're a very junior member of your staff.
I meant kind of office clerk sort of level of stuff.
Well, office clerks can often have a lot more experience in certain things.
Less than a clerk.
Trainee solicitor role. So, she was there to learn from us
Less
rather
than
than
a
the
clerk.
other way round.
And how did she do?
She was dreadful. I mean, I wasn't there all the time, but essentially she was rude to staff. She shouted at people. She was inappropriate with a male member of staff. She tried to follow a male member of staff home. I mean, all sorts of things happened. She threw a book across the office.
In a week?
Hit somebody with it.
In 1 week?
But on the hotline, she was heard to be saying to people, "Oh, you don't want to come here. I'll give you the name of another firm of solicitors." So we were paying all this money for this premium rated hotline, and she was giving the details of our competitors.
Oh, sorry, you're right. It was 2 weeks. That's fine then. 2 weeks is a normal amount of time for all of those things to happen.
To individuals.
And did you try and have it out with her?
Well, I did. I mean, the first thing that had happened was on day one, she came into my cashier demanding that the cashier give her a sub. And our cashier, Caroline, said to her, "I'm sorry, but we don't do that. You'll need to wait to the end of the month." A couple of days later, she came into my office, burst through the door, very upset and kind of angry. And I said, "What is it?" And she said, "Well, there's a man downstairs who won't leave. I owe him money." And I thought, goodness, somebody's sitting in my reception.
What the
Anybody
fuck?
else who's waiting there will think I owe this man money. So I said to her, "Well, what's this all about?" And she said, "Well, I owe him for a car repair." And she said, "So I need a sub." And I said, "Well, I'm disappointed you keep asking for subs because we've told you we're not going to do that." I said, "How much is it?" She said, £250. And she said she'd borrowed the money from her auntie, but when she went in...
I don't know why that's funny, because £250 was the exact amount of money that Piers Morgan gave Fiona Harvey to be on the show. Maybe that's why she asked for it. Never paid the man guy. What are subs? Money that you basically, when you get paid out before the time you're supposed to be paid out. So if you get paid at the end of the month, you might get a sub after a week.
Into the
I
envelope,
think.
It wasn't enough money in it. And she said she had no money to live till the end of the month. So I said to her, "I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you £250 out of my own personal money. Go and pay the man and then come up and talk to me."
That's so
So
nice.
she came up and talked to me. I said, "Keep the other £230 to keep yourself going." I said, and she then started to tell me about various financial problems she had, which I won't go into. But I volunteered to go and speak to her bank to try and help her out. I was trying my level best to give this person a helping hand. And I went down, I spoke to her bank about a week later, smoothed everything out for her.
That's so
And
nice.
when I came back to the office, she started saying to me, "Oh, I've been on the phone all afternoon to the Law Society to find out what will happen if I go bankrupt." And I said, "Well, Fiona, if you want to be a solicitor or ever be in a partnership, that's not the way to go." So anyway, I made a suggestion to her that she might want to sell the old car that she had, which had been the cause of the bill for the breakdown. And at that, she just went completely crazy and started screaming at me. Very similar to the scene in episode 1 in Richard Gadd's show.
What was she screaming?
"Don't you speak to me like that." And she did the same thing with a couple of other members of staff. One
Oh my
of my
God.
conveyancing staff was trying to show her how to do some kind of clause in a conveyance. And she started shouting the same thing at me, "Don't you say that to me, don't speak to me like that," but in a very loud and aggressive tone.
Lord,
So it
thank you
became
so much for the
quite
follow, and
obvious
Stereoid, thanks for the
quite
follow
quickly
too.
that she really wasn't cut out for this kind of thing.
That is a healthy person, yes.
I think one of the other things she did was she phoned up a disabled solicitor
No.
that we used to do Edinburgh agency work for. And she phoned him up and said to him, "Oh, I just want you to know that all the people here in this office, nobody likes you. Everybody says nasty things about
what
you.
the
and makes
fuck?
comments about you. Now,
And what was his disability?
he was, I think he'd had polio, so he couldn't walk properly.
Oh my God.
So, you know, it was nasty stuff. She grabbed a phone from one of my members of staff who was on trying to explain something to a client who obviously was giving him some difficulty, and she then started shouting abuse down the phone at the client. So there was a whole number of these.
Okay, so we're gonna take Laura's testimony as true, but of course there's two sides to every story. We heard Fiona Harvey's side of it, and she denies that any of this would happen. But I don't know. Let's take Laura's testimony to be true. That is a very unhealthy person. Yeah. So that's probably feeling threatened, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you know someone like this. Put a 1 in the chat if you know someone who any sort of criticization of them, right? Anytime anyone might criticize them, or anytime anyone might ask a question that they don't necessarily have the answer to, or there's any sort of pressure or any sort of questioning on them, they flip out. That person is me. Oh no, I'm sorry. There's a crackhead at work. Oh God, I'm sorry. Too fortunately, yeah, your parents. Little bit. I've worked with people like that. It's actually incredibly common. Your mom, Maya, I'm sorry. Scorpic, it's a parent for you too. I come in and you're already calling me out. I'm sorry. Hi, Liam, how are you doing? Well, it's a very common thing. It's a very, very common thing. We don't like not being cool. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. I think I actually didn't take a pill before the stream. I actually think I didn't, because it hasn't gotten better, has it? My speaking. We don't like being challenged. We don't like feeling insecure. We don't feel like we don't like feeling incompetent, like we can't do something, like we can't live up to something. We don't like saying something and then being questioned because it's like, oh, leave me alone. Do you know what I mean? But what we work on as kids, as teens, as adults, and anyone can work on this at any level, but just a lot of people have already learned these skills. Some people missed it, and that's okay. But what we learn on is emotional regulation and the ability to separate someone questioning me and my self-esteem and identity. They are two different things. I can be wrong about stuff. I frequently am wrong about stuff, but it doesn't mean that I'm stupid and worthless and everyone hates me. But for some people, that is where their mind goes. That's where it goes straight away. And so when you say to someone, are you sure that's right? Because I read something else somewhere else. For you, all you're saying is, that piece of information, I'm not sure. Let's discuss it. For them, what you're saying is, they think I'm wrong about everything. They think I'm stupid. They hate me. Everyone has always thought that I was stupid. I knew it. I'm useless. And everyone, it sucks and I should just go jump out a window. Make conversations very stressful, actually. A very common thing. To test gravity in Minecraft. a very common thing, and this might trigger people who said parents, maybe, is when you say something like, if you say something like, I don't really like... I'm trying not to be too specific. Yeah, like, I don't really feel comfortable with how much you've been watching me, or I'm upset that you don't let me go hang out with my friends. You know, everyone else goes outside and I don't get to go outside, or I don't like that you yelled at me the other day. I don't think that was fair. I don't think I did anything wrong the other day. And they take that, or I don't like this kind of food in future, and they take that to mean they're a bad parent. Are you saying that I'm a bad mother? Are you saying that I'm a bad parent? Are you saying that you just don't want to live here, that you're ungrateful? Oh, I'm the worst mother ever. Why don't you just kill me? Have you played or seen Hellblade 2? I did play it. I did a little bit. Yes, it was fun. Yeah, no, we did. We talked a lot about psychosis and hallucinations. The game's really, really cool. But yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. Like a minefield. Oh no. Don't talk back to me is a big one. I didn't think the parent thing would trigger me. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They think I'm weak. Yeah. And it's always whatever their insecurity is. Not parents, I mean people in general who suffer from this conflation of being wrong or being challenged to with their whole identity, their whole self-esteem. You have to know that they're two different things, but some people put them all together. And it's a really common thing for it's always their particular insecurity, and that's how you can tell, because the link won't always make sense. So you'll say something like, for example, I don't really like this food, and maybe your mum made it for you 2 days ago or something. I don't really like this food. And she will say something like, I'm bad at managing my own house. It doesn't really make sense. The line of logic there doesn't really track. And you're kind of thinking, wait, what? Like, how did you get there? And that's because no matter what it is, no matter what the incident would be, no matter what the aggression would be, no matter what you challenge them on, they would always go back to whatever their insecurity is. And I say they as if we don't do this as well. I am sure that every single one of us has done this at some point. That every single one of us, someone said something to us and we've gone, so you hate me? Leaps in logic. Yeah, huge fuck off leaps in logic. Parents who don't allow their kids to challenge them are basically raising doormats. I agree. I do agree, actually. I do. I could get defensive. Oh, defensive is a good word about stuff like this at work sometimes. Just trying to catch the thoughts off before they ruin stuff. And that's exactly that's all you can do. That's literally all you can do is just watch and catch and stuff. Oh, I'm going to Sweden on Thursday. I'll be... Oh, my flight's at 6 a.m. I'll be in Sweden or in Jönköping at like 7 p.m. I think. That evening, Thursday evening. What about you? Are people coming? Oh yeah, gaming. DreamHack. Who's coming to DreamHack? And when will you be there? You don't have to answer any of those questions. But yeah, I'll be in Jönköping Thursday evening. I land at 7 as well. Are you flying to Jönköping? You saucy rich bastard. You can afford to fly direct. You dick. I have to get a 6-hour coach. I will be there stalking you. Oh, okay. Oh, I always say gone shopping. Oh no, Gothenburg. Oh, Gothenburg. Oh, Gothenburg is, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's, yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, Liam, if you're going to the party at Kappa Bar on Friday, you can order a pericardial. It's a pericolada at the Kappa Bar on Friday. Didn't they just have DreamHack? I know, it happens every 6 months. I know, crazy. They do. There's another one in November. In Stockholm, actually. That one's in Stockholm, so that one might even be more fun. Flights between Gothenburg and Manchester are dirt cheap. Really? That's so rogue. That's so interesting. You're DJing at DreamHack. That's so cool. Wait, yes, you have to DM me the details of all of that, please, because I want to come see. That's so cool. I didn't even know they had DJs. That's awesome. Wait, on the big stage. Wait, we'll talk about this later. A pericolada and getting caught in the rain. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. So this woman got viciously stalked allegedly by Fiona Harvey. Very sad. Apparently, Fiona was very bad at her job that she previously said they headhunted her for, and that everything is a lie and they totally made it up and blew everything out of proportion and everyone's out to get her. And they were really, really mean to her. And this woman saying actually she was terrible at her job, harassed members of staff, and would get on the phone and just scream insults at people and randomly tell ex-members of staff that everyone hated them.
Incidents. And I had spent a few days in London. I was on the executive of the Association of Personal Injury Lawyers, and I think it was one of their meetings I was at and doing other things in London, seeing clients. And I came back to the office this was at the end of the second week, so there'd been a few incidents I was aware of. But by the time I got back, there was more and more being reported to me. Staff members in tears because of the way she'd spoken to them. So I got her into the office and I said, look, this is not on. I put some of the stuff to her. I asked her about the phone line and she said, no, I didn't do that. And then she says, oh, well, yes, I did, but I thought it was the right thing to do. So I just said, well, I don't think, you're cut out for here. So I said to her, I'm afraid that's it. I paid her for the month. She'd only been there 2 weeks and obviously had done nothing apart from cause complete havoc. And then she said, I'm not leaving. I'm leaving the Law Society. I'm not leaving.
Oh my God, she refused to
and
leave.
She started shouting and screaming, running around the office. And eventually my cashier and I, Caroline, had to get one arm on either side of her and actually march her out of the office.
Oh my God, that's so embarrassing.
And she stood out there for
Have any of you ever seen anything like that? Someone actually physically escorted out? I mean, I've seen it at a bar or a club. I saw it at a comedy club once, which is embarrassing because it was not rowdy at all. People were sat down. There was a comedy club and one dude was like hoisted out by two very burly men. Only on a night out. Has anyone seen it in an office situation or something? Only in TV shows, right?
Screaming abuse. And that was when it all started.
For an hour, half an hour screaming.
Every day I'd come into the office, the answer phone would be full of messages, all from her, all threatening, nasty.
What kind of threats?
I'll get you, you're not going to get away with this, I'll get Jimmy Ray, all that sort of stuff. I know that sounds a bit vague, but the way it was said was in a very threatening manner.
And how many?
I mean, I get you is a pretty threatening thing to say.
The answer phone would be filled up.
I'll get you.
I'm not sure how many messages, but she would rant on. It would take probably about an hour's worth of call.
Every day?
Every day. And then when we amalgamated with the other firms, again, she did the same thing. Not necessarily every day by that point. She blew a bit hot and cold, but it was pretty persistent for a couple of years. Also, years. She did this for nearly 5 years.
5 years!
So what she would do, given that way back in 1997, this was really at the start of the internet, so people weren't emailing to the same extent they do now. What she would do would be phone up other solicitors or send them faxes with defamatory stuff about me, saying how terrible I was, how terrible the firm was, accusing people of everything under the sun. And then, I would get phone calls from people I didn't know who would say, I'm really embarrassed. I've had this fax through from this woman. I don't know her and I don't know you.
She was fired. They dragged her out.
So I had issued the staff with panic alarms, right back at the beginning when all this started. Because, I had grown adults in tears, terrified that she was going to harm them, terrified that something awful was going to happen.
She also claimed that you and your husband, Jimmy, who's sadly no longer with us, but he accused you of assaulting your 3-year-old son, Frankie, who was born with a rare chromosomal disorder.
Well, that was that was the point at which I thought I can take no more of this. I had heard from a lawyer some months before that who phoned me.
Hoopty, that's a really good point. I'm just thinking for everyone to be really upset. This lady's entire evening must have been just cycling between the different people she needed to harass. Yeah, she just, she had a schedule. She's like Santa Claus on Christmas.
Who'd taken her on, and he said to me that he was in a terrible state because he'd fired her, and he went home that night to find 2
Kevin in chat says, this is blatantly made up. This blonde woman is a paid actor sent on this show by Netflix to discredit Fiona. But like the articles came out way before. Kevin, you can find Laura Ray and the picture of this woman that came out and the articles of everything happening and the law court orders and all of this stuff for her stalking and her harassment way before Richard Gadd even made the stage play of this, let alone the Netflix documentary. It's a long con. You're right. It's a long con. Maybe Kevin's just joshing. Kevin's a Fiona fan. I got baited. I did.
Involved. It was all taken very seriously, and the accusation was that he'd been abusing his children. This went to the children's schools and so on.
Kevin is a Russian bot.
On his knees and really upset. And I said, well, all I could do is perhaps speak to the sort of things she's done to me. So when I was going to go to the bar in 2003, I had to do some exams the year before that. So I went
What
to
if Kevin
Strathclyde
is Fiona?
University. And who's the first person I see when I get to the university to start doing a couple of classes but her? And I couldn't believe it, because at that point it had gone a bit quiet. And there she was, and from then on she fought.
Daily harassment for 5 years straight takes a can-do attitude. That's what you guys said.
The university. She would stand right up against, beside me and so on. So I complained to the professor at the university. And again, stalking wasn't really taken that seriously by people.
Hi, Dave.
People just assumed, oh, it's two
You turn
women
up the
who
YouTube
just
video.
don't get on or something like that.
Yes.
So he said, oh, well, I've checked her records and she's not registered as a student here, so I've got no locus over her. And I said, well, if she's not registered as a student, can you not just throw her out, get the security? And he said, oh, I don't like to do that.
He doesn't
Now,
like to do
By the
that.
end of the university year, I got a letter to say that he apologised because she'd gone on to upset a number of members of staff, harass them and other students.
Dude, if there is a random woman on campus harassing staff and students with Laura Gray, lawyer and wife of politician, coming to you and being like, hey, this woman's batshit insane, and you don't escort her, even though she's not a student or affiliated with your university at all, you don't escort her out of the building because you don't like to do that. I don't want to be a meanie. Ugh. Do you know what I do get is, you know, he might have just been having a long evening. He was just having a long day and he was like, ugh, I literally just sat down and put the choreo on. I'm about to get in a bath. I don't want to be escorting random women off my campus today. Sorry, babe. I can get behind that vibe of just being like, ugh, too much effort. But can't you just be chill? It'll all sort itself out. We just let it simmer. We just let it simmer. It'll be fine. It was a different time. He's too scared to ask the big security guys. They bully him.
She knew
People
that
shy.
I made a complaint about them. So one day, just after I made the complaint, I go home to find 2 social workers at my door saying to me, you know, we have some very serious allegations. So I said to them, well, come in. And I said, before you say anything to me, I said, and I do understand you've got a job to do and it's a very important job. I said, but I want to tell you what I think is going on here. So I explained to them about the other lawyer. I explained to them everything and they confirmed, oh yes, it's a woman who says that she's at university with you. Now, initially she gave a false name of another student, and it wasn't the other student because I contacted the other student. But to cut a long story short, she made 5 complaints to the social work department, eventually screaming at them down the phone, demanding that my severely disabled son be taken into care. Now,
there was an article about this as well, specifically Fiona Harvey harassing her deaf son.
To my mind, that was the point at which I thought, no, enough is enough. I'm not having this. I'm not having this poor child beleaguered in that way. So I contacted the police. The police didn't do anything. But I was a consultant to Drummond Miller solicitors, and so they...
Yeah, this is all verifiable, it must be.
So this is, again, a crucial part of this. And before we get to the interim interview, I just want to ask you, she said to me she wasn't let go from your firm, but instead she walked.
Well, she was walked out the door, if I can put it that way.
It certainly wasn't at her volition.
It wasn't at her volition.
She said she never had any legal proceedings or restraining orders against her. But you say, and you provided documentary evidence of this, that there was an interim interdict against her. Now, just very simply explain what that is.
Well, in Scotland at the time, there was no procedure for harassment type cases. The only thing you could use was this procedure for interdict, which is when you want to try and get the court to stop someone from doing something that you fear they may do. So that's the purpose of an interdict. Now, because often the circumstances can be acute, you can apply for an interim interdict, which means there's an initial hearing before a judge who decides whether, on the basis of the information, it's appropriate to grant what is essentially a restraining order.
Okay, so that's what it is.
So that was granted.
And we've seen the documents to support that, both the claim
and
the
granted.
fact that it was granted.
Yeah, so there is an
So she basically got a restraining order against her.
all the circumstances on which you're asking the judge to find that, you know, there are grounds for concern here.
Right.
And they're set out.
And it's basically what you've been detailing
Yeah.
to me about the consistent well, the terrible way she behaved in the office, and afterwards even worse, obviously, and then the accusations against you and your husband about your son and so on.
Damn.
And what happened once that interim interdict was issued?
Well, it was served on her by sheriff officers.
So
and then
previously, Fiona Harvey had been like, oh, it was thrown out immediately because there was no evidence for anything. So there was there was absolutely no court proceedings. There was absolutely no sentencing whatsoever. She literally got a restraining order. It was called an interim interdict, which a lot of people don't know. I didn't know what that was. But she literally got a restraining order against her that had a piece of paper that said, yeah, GG. Hugo down here is like, she got receipts! It's important. She was so confident at that point too. She was so confident. But my gal got receipts. Yeah, damn. It's important to hold on to these things, you know? Even if it's just a grocery shop or something. You got to get the receipts. That's what I'm saying. Damn. Isn't this fraud? Which part? If she was lying. Excuse me. Yes. Yes, Laura is clear and consistent with her points and doesn't contradict herself. But that doesn't necessarily make Fiona a stalker. Because I don't think I'm clear and consistent with my points, and I don't really always not contradict myself. So, hi, Ab! Kevin going hard again. Kevin's in the chat. Oh yeah, this is all lies you are listening to. Gad, spelt wrong, and Netflix are smearing Fiona and paying off people to tell lies about her. It's so obvious. Is Kevin a troll? Or Fiona? Or both? Let's poll it. Is Kevin a troll? Fiona just a kooky dude? Poll it. Can we remember if Kevin was there in Fiona's interview comments? Oh, we could go back and check. Yeah, we could go see that. Are you a stalker? You seem to know a lot about them. You've caught me. Who is Fiona? Fiona Muir-Harvey. I spilled coffee on myself again. God damn it. Need to do laundry now. Might be a friend of Fiona's too. O'Donnell is a Scottish name. And as we know, all Scottish people are friends with each other, except Laura and Fiona. They're the only exception. There is a lot of faith in not being a troll. Yeah. You guys think that she is Fiona? He is Fiona. Because that's a lot of vigor. It's a lot of vigor. Netflix is smearing Fiona and paying off people to tell lies about her. I would believe it. It is known. I would believe it. Yeah. Yeah. Fiona has no friends, only victims. That's sad. That is very sad. Ah, it's nice to have you back. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Are we still live on YouTube? Because YouTube did a weird little bloop thing. I think we're good. I think we're back. Okay. Thank you for voting in the poll. We've decided that we believe that Kevin is actually Fiona. What with messages like this one.
And again, we just for viewers who are curious, the Sheriffdom of Glasgow and Strathkelvin at Glasgow. This is the initial
Kelvin, not
writ
Kevin.
here, and we've seen the follow-up documentation leading to the granting of the interim interdict.
So I was contacted by the solicitors to say it had been granted by the sheriff and that it was then served upon her.
So she legitly got a restraining order.
She then had 21 days in which to put in a notice of intention to defend, which she didn't do. And she then would have had to put in defences. Now, what she says is that there is copy correspondence that I've sent you where she contacted someone at Drummond Miller, one of the more senior partners there, who's now a judge. She contacted him to say that she wasn't going to send him a copy of the defences and she was terribly busy, but she would get them in the next couple of days. She never put in any defences at all. So my solicitors then contacted the court some weeks later, having waited for all the appropriate time periods, and asked if they could, what would happen then. And basically they were told, well, the sheriff doesn't want to grant the permanent interdict against her until there is any further behaviour. So the interdict lasted for a year and a day. And knowing that she doesn't know anything about procedure and wasn't a qualified solicitor.
John says Fiona is innocent, and Kevin says, preach it. I think they're both John Doe, likely name.
We reckoned that she might not know that it wasn't actually going to be valid a year later. So it was valid for a year and a day. I never heard from her for 22 years. So the interim interdict did what I was hoping it would do.
John Doe wants to be stalked. John Doe is dead. Oh God!
If she came back,
someone has to be called John Doe. That's true.
We would
Shame
just
to
take
them.
out another interim interdict.
Everyone would always think you're lying.
I never had to because she disappeared.
And what was that feeling like when she disappeared?
It was relief, absolute relief. I mean, I had enough on my plate. Jimmy had a stroke about a year after all this. I was looking after Frankie, who's severely handicapped. Nobody knew at the time exactly what was wrong.
Okay, I don't think Joe is Fiona. Not after that message. I don't know if you're watching.
This or not?
Jimmy was a pretty resilient guy, so no, I don't think so. I think he was more worried about me and about Frankie than he was about her harming him.
I mean, to have social workers turn up
Yeah,
at your door
I feel so bad for Laura.
with that kind of allegation when your
Oh my
son
God.
is already pretty disabled. It's hard to imagine many worse
Oh my
things.
God. Imagine some rando tells the police or whoever that you're abusing your kid, and they come to your house with allegations that you're abusing your kid. Oh, and it's not true. I'm happy they're investigating all of it thoroughly, because you never know, but the anger, I would just be so overwhelmed with shock. I just wouldn't be able to believe that would happen. John Doe and John Hancock, what's all this John stuff? It's the only name that Fiona knows.
Someone to do to someone.
Well, exactly. And I was horrified. I couldn't believe that anyone could be so callous and cruel. It's one thing having a go at me. I didn't mind that to the same extent. And, she called me a lot of names. She's continuing to do so.
Yes, she is. And your letter to me when you contacted me was, unfortunately for me, I'm now collateral damage because Netflix allowed Miss Harvey to be so easily identifiable, which I think is inarguable. Have Netflix made any attempt to approach you?
Well, their solicitors spoke to me. They contacted somebody through the Mail on Sunday who then contacted me and asked me would I speak to their lawyers. So I had a conversation with them, and really what they wanted from me was a copy of the interim interdict.
And when was this?
About a week ago I spoke to them.
They offered me a 3-series deal.
I hadn't heard from them before that. Certainly nobody approached me to say there's going to be a story coming out in which it will be very obvious that you are one of the victims.
Do you think from that it would be correct to assume they're maybe panicking a bit, Netflix, about the fallout from all this?
Well, I really don't know. I can't speak.
It seems very odd to me they've asked you for documentary evidence to support something which is a major plank of...
You can tell she's a lawyer. He asked her a question, do you think this other third party are feeling a certain way? And she was like, I can't speak to that. Because I think anyone else would be like, probably, yeah, I mean, I'd imagine so. But she was like, no, I can't really speak to their perspective. Hearsay!
Their series.
Yeah. Well, I suppose they've got to show that what they have done is...
I learnt hearsay from the Amber Heard case.
Was what they put in Baby Reindeer materially true about you?
Yes. Right. Well, in the sense that there was a character who was a mother, that there was nothing of that in mind. But the thrust of it, which was that she was sacked from a law firm and turned on her boss, that's true.
Yeah.
That somebody in it was a barrister. I'm now a barrister, so I think that's where that bit comes from. And the bit about the sick stalker targeting the deaf child is absolutely clearly a reference taken along with everything else.
No question. I mean, that's straight from this story.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Richard Gadd?
No.
Because I put this question to her about how unusual it is to have somebody stalking two completely different people, both of whom, by her estimation, are fantasizing. Let's take a look.
Yes, that's
Why
the
would
thing.
two people who have no contact with each other at all?
To be fair, Fiona had quite a good argument for this. It was convincing. It was kind of convincing. But basically Fiona's argument, and you're going to see, is that she thinks that Richard Gadd just saw this story and was like, oh wait, I met this woman, let's invent the fiction of my own. But isn't that a little unlikely?
Laura Ray and Richard Gadd, why would they both portray you as a very unpleasant
I don't know why Richard Gadd has, but Laura Walker, it was certainly because I was going for parliamentary selection.
The two different, you get my point, two different people.
Yeah, but Richard Gadd has Googled that. Richard Gadd has used that as
well,
a
that's in the
basis for his
drama.
show.
Is when they find out that you had previously
She's going for parliamentary
this
selection.
I haven't harassed that family.
When you saw that exchange, what went through your mind?
I was horrified. I mean, I've actually watched your interview.
Is Piers Morgan being a good guy here? No. Don't get bamboozled. No, he's not.
Seeing her, it just brought it all back again. And I've watched it several times to see what is it she's saying about me.
John Doe, she's a goddess because Fiona Harvey was on screen. Why? Why are people? Do we think John is Fiona too? Let's poll it. Let's poll it. Is John Fiona as well, a troll or just a kooky dude? John is many people. John is Legion. She's a goddess. I think in this case, I think John is a kooky dude because didn't he also scream, "Hang my beef curtains" earlier as well? I think he didn't. I buy Kevin, I don't buy John. John isn't as convincing as Kevin as our Fiona of the narrative. Who is John? That dude. John Doe in the comments. You think it's a misdirect? Oh, maybe it is Fiona, but she threw that in to confuse us. What is a beef curtain? It is a vagina flap, JB. The more you know. I'm an educational stream. You're welcome. John Legion. I don't know what to believe anymore. Jackie absolutely losing his mind, rocking back and forth on the floor. You know, women can get mass crushes on serial killers. Yes, indeed. Yes, they can. I mean, men do that too. It's just a little more common with women. I'm not sure why. Not sure why. But actually, I do know why. It's a different stream. But, yeah. Maybe this is the same thing. Maybe John is just absolutely fucking in love with Fiona Harvey because he can fix her. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Why a different stream? We've done it so many times. Listen, despite what it might feel like today, I don't often try to reuse content. Okay. She is a goddess. Listen, different strokes for different folks, man. Just because you don't think Fiona Harvey is a goddess doesn't mean that she's not a goddess to some, and that's okay. That's okay. Perhaps I am John deep down. Perhaps we are all John. It's the sound of him cooming is what that was. John he's edging is what it is right now. Yeah, I'm not reusing. I'm following up. Dion, you are the best hype man. I feel like it's really bad for my ego. I feel like you're just, no, Perry, you're doing great. And it's amazing. I'm worried I'm going to believe you too much. Yes, I am. Women are goddesses. Every single one. All of them. I'm happy to go with that if we also say everyone is a god and goddess. If we say that just women are goddesses, then it feels a bit weird. But if we say everyone is a god/goddess/ someone in between all the time, every single person, then that's fun. That's cute. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. Bitch. No, I'm sexy. Don't worry, I roast you plenty to make up for it. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I kind of just forget about those ones. Every time you roast me, I just put it out of my head and I just listen to the compliments. So I guess maybe that's me. Oh my god, maybe it's me the whole time. My hamster is a god! I believe it. The only interaction with a hamster that I've ever had is apparently he thought my finger was a carrot and bit me and I was bleeding a lot. And then the hamster died. I don't think that was related. I don't think I killed the hamster. We were like 7 years old and my friend who owned the hamster screamed at me and said that I killed the hamster the next day. But I don't think I killed the hamster because it bit me and I didn't do anything. I just bled. And so, did I kill the hamster? Is that ways the hamsters die? But if everyone is a god or goddess, then no one is. Is that true? Yeah, that is true. Yeah, damn it. So we can only have a few gods and goddesses, so we have to pick carefully. So Fiona Harvey is a goddess. I'm gonna go ahead and pick one of you at random. Where's my finger land? Hoop-de-loop. You are also a god/goddess. And the rest of us are peasants. Pick me, pick me! I'm sorry. Did I crush it in my hand? No, I did nothing of the sort. Slander. It's actually libel because it's written down. I got skipped over. I'm sorry. Hey, no, try again. I'm sorry. The finger doesn't lie. Ever since that hamster bit me, I had magical god-making abilities from it. I'm like the worst or weirdest kind of superhero. My Hero Academia, I would be Finger Boy, is what my name would be. Finger Boy to the rescue! Hoo-ha! It's a sus name. Little bit, yeah, a little bit. Anyway, let's keep going. What did we say? 76% of us said that John Doe in the comments over here is Fiona. That's 2% less than last time, so we're a little bit less certain about John. But anyway, Finger Boy! You might want to workshop that, babes. No, I like it. I like that you call me babe. That was a perfect time. So you turn into a hamster woman vigilante. No, I am not the hamster. The hamster just gave me the abilities to turn other people into gods. But it's like, it's not a hamster ability. Like, there's no hamsters involved. It's just, it came from a hamster, you know? But like, I'm not a hamster and I don't turn people into hamsters. It just came from a hamster. Do you know? It's like Uri Geller, okay, got the magical ability to bend spoons from the aliens. Apparently, it's just a trick. Oh my god. Okay, so I was at my friend's house the other day. And he has a spoon bent by Uri Geller. I shit you not. He just has one. If you don't know who Uri Geller is, he's a kooky duke. Uri Geller. He's a very, very famous magician. He is what that Pokemon is based on. Genuinely, he sued Nintendo and he almost won. But you know that Pokemon with the spoons? Alakazam, I think it's Ala. Yeah, that Pokemon is based on Uri Geller. Very famous magician. His whole thing is that he can bend spoons with his mind. And he believes that he was gifted these telekinetic and also telepathic abilities from the aliens in space. Now he has his own island, of which I am an official citizen. I have a certificate. He has his own country off the coast of Scotland, where he set up a landing pad for the aliens to communicate to him about the pyramids. I'm not making that up. That's literally what it is. But anyway, my friend's mum met Uri Geller in a supermarket at some point. And my friend's mum is a very kooky duckling herself. So she ran up to him and was like, bend this, and gave him a spoon. And so he bent the spoon and then signed it. He actually just did it, which is sick of him. He bent the spoon and then signed it and gave it back. And now he just has. How cool is that? Made me like Uri Geller a lot more. Yeah. How does one sign a spoon? With great effort. He's done it there. See? With a fucking pen. Okay? He happened to have a pen. Yeah, I don't really know how either of them got the spoon or the pen in this scenario. I guess she was just carrying a spoon. I think they were in a supermarket, so they probably bought both. I don't know. I didn't ask questions about the interaction. I believe that it's real, though, because it would make my day if it was. So there it is. Couldn't he only do it with his own fake spoons? Well, no, you can bet. Oh, maybe he had a spoon. Maybe he carried spoons and markers around with him. Maybe that's what he did. But anyone can bend a spoon. There's a trick to it. It's like a very normal trick, a very normal magic trick. If you heat it up enough, or if it's a certain metal or whatever, you can just bend it. If you really vigorously try to eat ice cream, you can also bend a spoon. But yeah, anyone can do it. And it was like a normal magic trick, and a bunch of magicians came out and was like, literally, this is how you do it. I'll do it right now. But he was like, no. Just because it's a magic trick and just because other people can do it doesn't mean that's how I'm doing it. He literally was like, it's a magic trick for sure, and they're doing it like this, but I'm doing it with the telekinetic powers gifted to me by the aliens. Uri hated James Randi, 100%. I mean, James Randi, another famous magician, dedicated his whole career into calling Uri Geller out for being a fraud. There's a documentary about it. Yeah. Probably he carries both, probably. And that's also probably why he was so keen to do it. Anyway. She's getting stalked, or was getting stalked. Let's keep going.
And it's unbelievable that after the things she did, that she can say she wasn't harassing my family. Of course she was harassing my family.
For many years.
For many years. For longer than Richard Gadd.
When you've seen the fallout from
Mikey
Netflix,
goes, yeah, but...
series plus my
I wonder what
interview,
Mikey's going to follow that
particularly
up
around
with.
the fact
Hype him.
that she's adamant that she's never been in court, let alone admitted to stalking him or being convicted. And there is no apparent evidence she ever was convicted of any crime. What do you make of that? Because that goes right to the heart, for many people, of the integrity of Richard
She wasn't
Gadd's
convicted of anything,
story.
and she didn't go to prison, and Gadd said that she
It's
was.
hard to say, really. I mean, I can't say whether she's got any convictions or not. I know that the newspapers have looked for them and can't find them. In Scotland, convictions can be spent after a certain number of
But it
years.
says that she was convicted, for example, for 4.5 years for what she did to you and your family.
Well, she wasn't convicted for that. I didn't press any kind of criminal charges.
So that is untrue.
So that's untrue.
I mean, again, back to Netflix's duty of care, they're making it very easy for both Fiona Harvey and you to be quickly identified.
The conviction part could
and
be
yet the
that,
material fact
That's a
that
good point,
she
Chifu.
was sent to prison for 4.5 years for harassing you and
Seems
your
like a bad
family,
move, though.
Like it appears the same thing that Richard Gadd is saying about what happened to him, that neither of those things may be true.
Well, it doesn't appear they are true.
Okay, guys, I don't think that John Doe is Fiona anymore. That's not a very nice comment, John. I'm not sure that John Doe is Fiona. He's an expert troll. I guess that answers our poll, right? We truly couldn't tell. No, he did a good job. I don't know who these characters are. Like, people keep mentioning Joe, Roy, and Dave. Apparently, Roy and Dave are fucking, according to Gabby. There's lore here in the chat, and I don't know what's going on. But anyway.
And you're a lawyer.
Maybe it's
quite
still Fiona
serious
trying to
leap
throw a
to go from somebody who may be harassing people,
Can you imagine?
trolling a nasty, abusive person to a convicted criminal. Do you think?
Well, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think for the sort of thing she did to me,
It's gossip,
even if I
it
had
is.
pressed for some kind of criminal conviction, I don't think she would have got very long, if any kind of custodial sentence.
Would she now, do you think, for the same thing? Have the laws tightened on this?
I don't think so. I mean, I spoke to the police not so long ago and asked them about this, and certainly in Scotland, the law hasn't changed in line with the way it has in England on stalkers. So it's still very difficult. Basically, the police say unless she actually comes up and physically attacks me, there's nothing they can do to protect me.
And how does, given
Yikes.
the fact that journalists have been investigating whether she might be moving back to your area or looking for someone to live there, how does that make you feel?
Frightened.
What do you think she might be capable of doing?
I don't know. I mean, I think one of the interesting things has been in all the press that has been about this, there's been a number of articles by psychiatrists who say that she probably has some kind of personality disorder. I don't know, I'm not a doctor.
So personality disorders are linked to stalking behaviors and also threatening behaviors and also emotional dysregulation behaviors. So screaming at someone on the phone because they said, dude, you're not very good at your job. And so calling up a random person that used to work at the company that you've never spoken to and screaming down the phone and telling him that everyone hates him and everyone's talking about him behind his back. That is maybe a symptom of a personality disorder. Personality disorders are fun. There's lots of different kinds of them. They're not necessarily fun for the people who have them, but they're fun to learn about. There's also different kinds of personality disorders. You've got your kooky boys, who are your delusional, psychotic people. And then you've got your moody boys, who are your borderline personalities, your sociopaths people. Then you've got your sad boys, who are your dependent personality disorder, your avoidant people. Right? And kooky, yeah, the quirky boys. Those are the three different types of personality disorders. And then within those three categories, kooky, moody, and sad. Within those three different categories, there's 3 to 4 different diagnoses. But people say that it's probably a spectrum and that everyone's kind of somewhere in between. Quirky. Yeah, so that's types A, B, and C. Yep, in that order. Quirky, moody, sad. I actually want to take something back that I've been saying. I want to redact something here. 8s, 9s, and 10s. I want to redact something that I had been saying. I was wrong. I said a couple times that cluster A personality disorders, so your quirky boys, didn't necessarily have to be a bad thing that you needed treatment for. Now, it's still a disorder. It still is probably, if you're diagnosed with any disorder, it means that it's affecting your quality of life. But you can have symptoms or even diagnosable symptoms of a cluster A personality disorder, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's affecting your life super negatively, that you have to. They could just be strange individuals who go and live with fairies in the forest and can be happy as can be. I was wrong. Can we have the apology bingo card? That is a very vague and a little naive thing to say. I want to redact that because first of all, it contradicts itself. If it's a disorder, then it's a disorder and it affects your quality of life negatively. And the problem with being delusional or having any sort of psychosis is that it is going to affect your relationships. It is going to affect your ability to function, your ability to work, and it can spiral out of control and cause things and be linked to anxiety, depression, and all of this other stuff. It is never a good thing. And if you're diagnosable, it's not gonna be just fine. And that was wrong of me to say. And I didn't necessarily mean it like that. And I did account for all of the different possibilities. I said maybe in some occasions if you have symptoms of it doesn't necessarily mean that you're unhappy. But that was wrong. Wrong of me. Happens ever so often. Every so often I'll deal or redacted. Redacted is the wrong word. What's the word I'm looking for? You know, in newspapers? It's a correction. Perry's never wrong! We're learning. We're just learning. That's okay as we go. I'm learning. Retracted. Thank you. Not redaction. Retraction. Retracted. I'll suck that bad boy right back into me. Lost all my trust in you, Perry. I tell you not to listen to random strangers on the internet. I tell you that all the time. I tell you, compile multiple sources of evidence. Don't take anything as fact unless you've looked at the scientific meta-analyses of these things, okay? And do not just believe one viewpoint of a random stranger on the internet. I literally say that all the time. So do you know what? It's all your fault. I did nothing wrong. There's too much work. It really is. It really is. I get it. I so get it. So no fairy friends. No fairy friends. Because what happens if one day the fairies stop liking you and then you think you're being attacked by the fairies, so you end up staying indoors constantly and not going outside because the fairies are going to hate you. And that does happen sometimes. A break from realities are very rarely good. Very, very rarely. I take every single word Perry says as truth, except that Joe is not Fiona. I don't think Joe is Fiona. I don't think the commenter who talked about her flaps is her. I don't think she would have written that. But maybe it's a misdirect. Yeah, maybe. But Perry isn't a random stranger on the internet. She's a scientist. I'm a scientist. It's true. I do science. I do science things. I can't stop winking. I don't know why. I think I've had too much coffee. Anyway, isn't reduction a chemical process? Yes, it's also a language, philosophical, cognitive process in which you reduce things to their core elements or core parts too much that you lose all nuance. So, for example, me saying that depression is a distinct lack of spice. That's a diagnosis. That's the definition of depression. That's reductionist because it's not that, is it? There's like loads of stuff to it and there's different kinds, and it's not necessarily a distinct lack of spice because depression also comes with its own form of delusion and psychosis, because if you think that everyone hates you, that's delusion, because there's no way that everyone hates you because not everyone knows you, buddy. So you know what I mean? It's a distinct, but it is a distinct lack of spice, but that's still a reductionist viewpoint. So you weren't flirting with me. When would you have thought that? Is this like, this is flirty? Oh, my winking. Oh, yeah, sorry, weed. Yeah, valid. Yeah, my bad. No, sorry. I have a thing going on. My eye hurts. You're so right. But what if everyone does hate me? But I just don't think that's true. Listen, If people are absolutely shrimping over Fiona Harvey, you're good. Do you know what I mean? If women are writing love letters to Jeffrey Dahmer, you're good. Which doesn't even make sense because wasn't he gay? I mean, that's not the... He's also a cannibal serial killer, but like, still, he's not gonna love you. If it's a cannibal serial killer who likes women, then he might still love you and want to eat and kill you. But he doesn't like women. So he doesn't want to eat and kill you, sorry babes. He wants to eat and kill your brother. Do you know what I mean? Or, you know, maybe. I'm sure he has a specific type. What am I talking about? He's still hungry, though. Yeah, you know, maybe he's... Listen, I prefer pasta to rice. But if I'm hungry, I'll still have the rice. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he was a violent bisexual. What was the context of that? Why did I... Someone remind me again. At the beginning of the stream 3 hours ago, why did I Google violent bisexual? Oh, the Weeknd song. Yep. We've come full circle. Yay. I've heard you say he loved his victims. I beg to differ. Yeah, he loved them a little bit too much. I feel like if you love someone, you don't eat them. Maybe you do. Maybe I've never experienced true love before. Guys, what are we talking about? This is not, it's not okay. Let's not get into eating humans. No, I did a cannibalism stream once and it was not good. it was a mistake. A mistake. Sorry. It was like, I went into a lot of detail as well. Like a lot. Like the crunch and the face of it all. Like a lot of detail. Like it was gross. Like it grossed me out. Yeah, we also then the next week did a necrophilia stream. There's a dude who just like... but only to get back at his mother, so it's fine. You guys never put your dick in severed heads to get back at your mother. Come on. Anyway, let's move on. Don't do that. I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. It's also in Minecraft. You didn't know the community was so weird. Learning new things every day. It's true. It's true. I left. What the hell? Hi, nefariously. I miss True Crime Perry. No, you don't. You think you do. It was never good. It was always a mistake. Every single time. True Crime Perry was not the one. True Crime Perry, because I don't have a good scale of what is acceptable to say and what's not. I don't really know where the line is, so I'll just either tell you everything or I'll tell you nothing, and nothing is the safer. Bring back True Crime Perry. Okay, you've twisted my arm. Let's do it. Hi, Lisbon. Just as you remember. Oh no. Takes Cold Case to a whole new level. Put him in the microwave, you know what I'm saying? Why do women find murder documentaries so interesting? Well, everyone does. I think it's like 60-40. 60% women is the demographic target, or the demographic of people who watch serial killer murder documentaries. I think the argument, people don't know. We don't know. But the argument as to why it might be more popular with women is that they identify with the victims more often. Now, obviously, not all murder documentaries, the victims are women. Jeffrey Dahmer, obviously. But a lot of the time they are. And so they identify with the victims more. And they identify with the fear of being kidnapped or walking alone down the street, blah, 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 blah. And men do too, but you know what I mean. And that's why, because they identify with the victim more, they get more immersed in the content. They feel all the juice of the content a little bit more, like a horror movie. If you can relate to the main character, then you get more immersed and you enjoy the horror movie more. That's the vibe, I think. It also might just be a little bit more acceptable. Maybe? More men might find it weird that they're watching a murder documentary, and women might just be like, it's fine because I'm cute, you know what I mean? Maybe. It's like how more women are comfortable talking about how much porn they watch. Because it's like, but I'm adorable. Not that men can't be adorable. That's my theory. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's equalize it all. What, you watch your true crime if you like it. There is ethical true crime and non-ethical true crime, but I'm not your mom. Do what you want. I'm told I'm adorable. That's good. I'm glad. I'm adorable. I can see that. I'm adorable when I watch porn. That scares me. Fun thing about stats, 60-40 ratio means a larger group is 50% bigger than the smaller group. That's true, actually. That's really weird to think about. It feels way smaller than that, the difference. Do you know what I mean? Also, you have to remember with stuff like this, it's about people admitting it. So they'd only do it by survey or by what gender you put as your Netflix profile. But I don't even think you do that. So I'm not sure where they're getting the numbers from. They would probably, for most of these things, get it from survey. So they would ask people, do you absolutely fucking love murder documentaries? And so 60% or 50% more women than men would say, yeah, I do, give it to me. And that might be like a socialization stereotype thing. They might just feel more comfortable saying that. Do you know what I mean? It's like when they ask people, are you a little bit bi? And everyone's just like, no. But that doesn't mean they're not a little bit bi. Do you know what I'm saying? So we don't really know the true numbers, just a little bit. And that's why I think that's why they think more women are bi than men, because it's currently, it shouldn't be, it's stupid, but currently it's more socially acceptable for women to be bi for whatever reason. Or that they're less like upset about saying it or something. But I don't think there would be there's no reason why there would be a difference. You know what I mean? Everybody a little bit bi. That's probably not true. It's probably not true. Although to be fair, I only know 2 straight people. Of the people that I know. Do you know what I mean? Of the people that I know, they've told me their sexuality. 2 of them are straight, and everyone else is something. So, we're all a little bi for Henry Cavill. You don't have to tell me twice. Yeah, my brother's bi, and that bi erasure hits him hard. Yeah, it's a real shame because people don't know. Some people will assume that means you're gay, especially guys. People will assume, oh, you're lying. Or something. You're confused. When no, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Everyone prefers an innie to an outie. Don't think that's true, Mudder. Not sure that's real. I'm straight, so you can change the count to 3. Thank you, Delta. Awesome. I don't exclude being bi, but I've never been attracted to a man except Ryan Gosling. Well, Ryan Gosling doesn't count. Everyone's a little... Ryan Reynolds as well. Damn. Anyway. Yeah, no, my gay friend says that. I've got a couple, but this one particular gay friend, he says that. He says he's pretty confident that he's gay because he's never been attracted to a woman before. But he's open. It might happen. Never has done. Might do. And so I obviously 3 wines down was like, are you attracted to me? And he said no. Would you date me? No, never in a million years. Fuck off was his exact response. So, I mean, I don't know why I asked. Needed more wine, probably less. Or he needed more wine. Having a nice wife doesn't make one not gay. Speaking from experience. I wanted my ego stroked. I really did. I needed him to tell me that he would date me, and he just didn't. He just didn't, and so I cried myself to sleep. Is Ryan Reynolds... If Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling ever touched my leg, I wouldn't say no. I'd see how I felt about it. You'd be open to the idea. Yeah, that's okay. I was straight until I watched Labyrinth. Oh, who in particular? I don't see myself as a benchmark. I don't see myself as a benchmark, but he's supposed to be my best friend, allegedly. Supposed to be my best friend. And he wouldn't date me? Like, what the fuck? do you know what I mean? Like, you say that you're my best friend, and then like, what do you mean? Is it just about looks? So shallow. Is it it's just because I have a vagina? You dick. Anyway, most LGBT people are bisexual. Do you know what? That sounds really problematic, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I think you're right because it's a bell curve. I imagine that it's a bell curve. I don't know that it's a bell curve. I think if you I don't know why we're talking about this. If you were to, like, you know, make a graph of sexuality, this is the most gay you can be. That was bad. And this is, like, number of people. Okay. I think, like most things, it would look like that. So I would say most people are here, you know, in the halfway point. Maybe? I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure that's true. Actually, no, I don't think it would look like that, would it? No, I think it would look like this, probably. Probably more like that. But anyway, there's a skew, I think. Put it away! You're right. I don't know. I'm not sure. What a graph. I suppose you can actually measure that sort of thing. It just relies on people telling you the truth. So. Anyway. It's super technical graph. Can you elaborate? You know, I really can't. It's some gamma distribution. I think out of all of my friends, I have only one person I believe is truly straight. That you believe? So you've got friends who say that they are, but you're like, Yeah, it relies on people telling the truth. What could go wrong? Exactly. Everyone's super honest about stuff like this. Of course, of course, of course, of course. I'm closer to 0. I'm straight out. I'm straight, but I rarely like someone. That's super valid. That's super valid. A lot of people are like that too. You go off. I need to know, can rats be a stalker? I have one that won't leave my dresser drawer. Why do you have a rat in your dresser? Have you tried to let it out? Do you keep it locked in the dresser drawer? Because that's probably why it's not leaving. Do you know what? Do you know what I mean? Super straight guys. Don't touch me, bro. I don't want to get a boner. Yeah. There is one person I know who is very, 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 very straight. And he says that he knows this because he is made out with a lot of guys. He's made out with a lot of dudes. Because he never really says no, the whore. He never really says no. And he says, listen, I've made out with so many guys in so many different contexts that I now know for certain that I didn't like it. I never liked it. So for certain, I've tried it. Not for me. Like sweet corn. Sweet corn was a thing for me. I didn't think I liked sweet corn. I refused to eat sweet corn, and then I tried it and I knew that I did like it. You have to, you don't have to. That's not real. You know. But he did the research as well on top of that. Very brave. I know. I only tried it 60 times. Yeah. Well, eyes, that's pretty much the definition. So yeah, GG. GG. I'm so straight, I don't kiss girls because some of them kiss guys. Yeah, and it's like you're vicariously kissing other dudes. I get it, you know. I only suck off dudes to make sure I'm not gay. I do have a friend who did that too, but then he decided he was bi afterwards. But he went in as an experiment. We're scientists. He went in as an experiment. I'll just do it and then see how I feel. And it turned out, you know, he felt pretty good about it. So there you go. Yeah. It's all good. Do what you want, I guess. It's all whatever. Listen, don't let anyone put you in a box. You are you, and you don't even need a label if you don't want a label. You know what I'm saying? We have so many scientists. It's true. It's true. Hashtag happy pride. Okay, let's keep going. Hi, George. No guy is technically straight. Okay, I think we've gone too far off the other end now. They're either gay or lesbian. I'm confused by the logic, but I like your energy. Sexuality doesn't exist. Everyone return to Pillbug. Wait, Pillbugs have a second. Do Pillbugs? I mean, I don't know. Are they more like plants? Do they like make their own babies by themselves? No. They bang. So not Pillbug. What animal mates asexually? Bees. No way! But I thought bees had to mate with a queen. They can do it sexually, but they do it asexually a lot. So bees, wasps, ants, and aphids they can do it asexually if they're so inclined. So return to bee, I guess. Return to wasp. When they're feeling romantic, yeah. When they're down to clown. Seahorses do it asexually, do they? That's crazy. There we go. Why can't we do it? I know. Cheating on the queen with yourself. Amoeba. Okay. Love yourself first, right? Exactly. I'll happily be, but I'll fight God before I reincarnate as a wasp. Wasps can make honey too. No, they can't. Wasps can breed flowers as well. That's the wrong phrasing. You know what I mean. Wasps can pollinate too. So they're good. Wasps are good. And they don't sting you unless they have to as well, because they don't want to get involved. They'd rather just leave. Wasps are assholes. Yeah, actually, yeah. No, you are actually. Yeah, no, that's right. Hi, Nada. Go pollinate yourself. Anyway, back to the video. Am I gonna have to recap again? Does anyone know who this woman is? She was stalked by Fiona Harvey, who is the real life Martha in Baby Reindeer. She was hate stalked. That's the stream. Listen to her words.
And that she may have some sort of delusional disorder, and that people with these kind of disorders actually believe everything.
Sorry, I'm getting
they
a
say.
message.
And that kind of, in a weird
definitely
way
paying
makes sense to me, because she contradicted herself.
Odeon Cinema
messaged
messaged me.
I have correspondence in which she contradicts herself, which she says doesn't exist. But I think she maybe genuinely does believe.
Yes, I felt
in her own little parallel universe
I
that
felt
this is
that
true.
she was peddling lines that she may believe,
Mm-hmm.
which is delusional, but that may be the case. But I also think that she may have a very legitimate case against Netflix, Richard Gadd, Clerkenwell Films, if it turns out she's never been convicted of any crimes. Twice in that series, both in the...
Oh my god, how fucking dare you make me watch Piers Morgan. I'm sorry. So, little bit of a recap. Fiona Harvey is allegedly a stalker. There was a series by a dude who was like, she's stalking me because she wants my penis. And she got real violent, all this stuff. This woman said, oh, no way, she stalked me too. And there's all these news articles about it. And she did some really bad stuff, including screaming down the phone, telling a random person that no one likes him. She had to be carted out of their office by 2 burly men. I'm inserting the burly men, but I'm just assuming that's what it was. And then she harassed her, stalked her, came into various departments when she was there for 5 years, and then called social services and said that she was abusing her kid, which was completely groundless and really upsetting. So that's what she says. Now, everyone in these comments are saying, no, she's innocent. We love Fiona. She's a Netflix plant, because the documentary was on, well, the series was on Netflix. Piers Morgan's absolute L take was that because in the show, they say it's based on a true story. By the way, there is no legal distinction between saying it's based on a true story and saying it's a true story. So on the Netflix show, it says, this is a true story. There is no legal difference between saying based on a true story and this is a true story. It is misleading, but since it's still not a documentary and it's still fictional, it's covered, if that makes sense. So Richard Gadd saying, oh, Fiona had a 4.5 prison sentence, blah, 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 when she didn't actually go to prison in real life, allegedly, or there's no evidence that she did, then he says, well, that makes Richard Gadd's whole case fall apart and they're going to get in so much trouble, blah, blah, blah. Not true. Not actually true. So, anyway, let's hear what she has to say more.
In relation to you and Richard Gadd, she's getting lengthy prison sentences for the stalking, and that doesn't appear to be true.
Well, I agree with you, but I think what you then...
Terry. She had used a different name. Anyone can check. When you move from Scotland to England, she can change names. What do you mean when you move from Scotland to England, you can change your name? Either you can change your name at any point in time, which you can, but there isn't like a border, dude. First of all, there isn't a border. It's the same country. There's no border. Second of all, there's no dude at the border saying, oh yeah, do you want to change your name? By the way, just like sign this form if you want it. Since you're now in England, do you want to change your name? Like make it a little bit less Scottish and annoying. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a thing. They give you new names when you join. It's like a foreign legion. Exactly. No, that doesn't necessarily happen. I have been to and from Scotland many a time. I've lived in Scotland for 2-something years. No one ever asked me if I wanted to change my name. God damn it! I would have changed it to Perry O'Connor or something like that. Wait, that's Irish. Perry McDonald. That's racist. Perry... Shit, give me a Scottish name! Quick! Perry Harvey! That's not a Scottish name! I can't think of a single one. McGregor! That's good. Thank you. Perry Libs. I don't know if her surname is Libs. You know, I'm not sure. Mick Moneybags, stop it. Okay. But anyway, Terry. So apparently the border man between Scotland and England said, would you like to change your name? And she originally went by Terry. Let's do this a little fact check over here, shall we? What's her name? Fiona Terry. Convictions. No. She said anyone can look it up. ChatGPT. I rely on ChatGPT too much. I wouldn't say it's an addiction, but you know, it's here. Is there any evidence of a Fiona Terry being convicted of harassment, stalking, etc., etc.? He doesn't know. As a language model, I'm incapable of saying. I'm sorry. Sorry for asking, my guy. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to disturb you. Right. I don't know. I don't. I'm not sure. Anyone know? Perry Potato. That's again Irish and still racist. Just keep asking it in different ways. It doesn't know. Don't push him. He's had a hard day.
Then have to look at is what is that actually worth in terms of damages. So you have to prove that your reputation has been damaged. As far as I understand it, I'm not aware that Fiona has ever held down a job anywhere. So I don't think there's any claim for loss of earnings.
But she has got top lawyers now, both here and in the US, going after Netflix quite hard.
Well,
I think she has got a good case.
Well, I'm sure she may have a good case, but the question is then, certainly in Scotland, what would it be worth? You're looking at somebody who has a pattern of stalking, who stalked quite a number of people apart from myself. People have been coming out of the woodwork to me, frightened to come forward, but letting me know that they know what's going on.
Do you have any doubt that she is a dangerous stalker?
I have no doubt she's a dangerous stalker, no doubt whatsoever.
What has this being raked up done to you?
Well, it's made me very anxious. Certainly,
poor thing.
You know, it's every so often. I mean, every day I can't stop thinking about it, and I can't stop obsessively watching YouTube and all these different channels where people are exploring the ins and outs of it.
Because you didn't want to do an interview like this. You wanted this all just to, as it had been for a long time, just be part of the past.
Yeah.
But you felt compelled to because everyone was talking about you.
Well, I'm an advocate. I've got a reputation to defend, and the sting of what she says about me is basically that I'm a liar, and that I'm an incompetent lawyer. So that's not good news if you're an advocate in professional practice. And I certainly wouldn't want any of my clients, my solicitors who instruct me, or any clients that I represent to think any of that is true.
Have you considered suing her?
Well, I am considering suing her, and certainly if Netflix give her £11 million, I'll be suing
170
her.
she's asking for now.
Problem is that if she has no money, reparation claims are very expensive to mount. There's very little point in me suing her if she's got nothing.
Has Richard Gadd made any attempt to reach out to you at all?
None at all.
Would you have expected him to?
Well,
I mean, without him putting all this onto first an Edinburgh show,
he's kind of got it out for
Richard
Gadd.
Series,
His is weird.
Never have come to this.
He's a cunt.
Well, I don't know what I would expect. I've never met him.
It's a cross between a clown.
I can understand that, you know, he has written
and
what I think is a very compelling TV series. He's done very well out of it, and I sort of wish him well on that. I do think that when he says that he changed all the details so that people wouldn't recognise her and she wouldn't recognise herself, that is just untrue. I mean, he could easily have made her somebody who didn't look like Fiona Harvey, who was
Yeah,
say, an
Right.
they were
accountant,
very
a
Changed
doctor.
the story completely. I mean, one of the Netflix chief executives, he's the Netflix policy chief. He went into the UK Parliament several weeks ago and he said this.
Baby Reindeer is an extraordinary story, and it is obviously a true story of the horrific abuse that the writer and protagonist Richard Gadd suffered at the hands of a convicted stalker. We did take every reasonable precaution in disguising the real-life identities of the people involved in that story.
Your response to that?
Well, I disagree completely with what he says.
Yeah, I don't know, babe. I don't know if he can be like, yeah, we took every
Do you
single...
feel better for doing an interview
We
about
took every single precaution to not make Fiona Harvey look like Fiona Harvey, but they looked identical, and they used the real tweets that are still public. So I don't know. But then again, does Richard Gadd have a responsibility to protect Fiona Harvey if she's the one who's doing all the stalking allegedly and all the crimes and whatever? You know, does he have a responsibility to do that? Because I'm just thinking, listen, if I got stalked, I might be out for blood. Who's Richard Gadd? He is the dude who wrote the Netflix documentary. So he was romance stalked, allegedly, by Fiona Harvey. The Netflix dude was implying it wasn't about Fiona Harvey, as in it was about someone else, or that she wasn't the point. She hasn't been convicted of anything, so you can't go gunning for her. I guess so, yeah. But at the same time, it's him living his truth, you know? Maybe? I don't know. Let's poll it. I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about any of this, except confused and bamboozled. Does Richard have to keep Fiona hidden, like in a basement somewhere? Yes. No. Did he have to disguise her personality and her appearance? And I mean, he never said her name, but people were very, very quick to find it. Hi, Mia. Welcome in. Protection is usually for the innocent, right? If Perry lived in Scotland, how do we know she wasn't Fiona? It was me. Pow, pow, pow. Perry can go gunning after anyone if it means more content. Go on, Perry. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm like a race dog. I feel it. I really feel it. Listen, I wouldn't go gunning for anyone. I would probably hide some names. I mean, someone sent me a picture of a dead bird and I hid his name. Someone got me kicked out of my uni accommodation because he believes in demons. It was a whole thing. And I keep his name. I was very discreet about his name. Schmonathan was his name. Very discreet, very changed. I was about as discreet as Richard Gadd, to be fair. But just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that that's the morally, ethically correct thing to do. Does he have to? No. Should he? Yes. Interesting, Boars. Interesting. Perry wouldn't send loads of emails, messages, apparently. Well, no, because do you know how much effort it is to send a text? I'm elusive. I describe myself as elusive. I don't have time to be a stalker. You look like a grandchild of King Arthur. Have you been watching the Last Kingdom drama? Welcome in. It's good. Last Kingdom's pretty good. Thank you. Grandchild? How old do you think I am? He lived in like the 8th century. Dude. I don't even respond to emails after saying on stream that she will. Slander. I'm well preserved. Thank you. It's the retinol. Speaking of people you doxed, have you contacted the police about your stalker? No, I didn't. The Instagram dude, no. Didn't. I mean, I don't know what that's it. Like, he's got a completely private, completely anonymous Instagram profile where he doesn't post anything. So I can report him to Instagram, but then beyond that, like, I don't know. You know? He isn't her only victim. That's a good point. And if she never got convicted for anything, she should probably be convicted. See, that's another thing too. It's like, let's say, and he alleges that she sexually assaulted him. So, wouldn't you want that person to get caught? No? Wouldn't you want that person to get caught? Potentially? Based on a true story. If Fiona wasn't convicted or didn't do a prison sentence, then Martha absolutely couldn't be her because Martha was convicted and sentenced. Yeah. See, this is another thing too, because on the original interview from Piers and Fiona, on the original interview, he posited that. He was like, so you're saying that Martha couldn't be you. The character couldn't actually be you because you didn't stalk him. You didn't send him loads of text messages. You only knew him for a few months. And you're not convicted of any of those crimes. So Martha isn't you. And she was like, Martha is not me. And so Piers Morgan was like, okay, so she could be based on someone else then. It doesn't have to be about you. It could be based on someone else. And Martha did not have it. She did not have it. She was like, no way, it's definitely based on me and he's defaming me. But why are you so sure that it's about you if you didn't do any of the things he's saying you did? You know, you could be an amalgamation of two different people. You don't know. That's what I would assume. The tweets were hers. Oh, true. True. Martha's not me, but she's totally identifiable as me. That's true. The tweets were hers. Yeah. Darren, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Piers Morgan is the best. No. No, he sucks. Ass. He is most likely a bad person in the literal sense. But there he is. Does Richard have to keep Fiona hidden? 61% of you has said yes. Yes, he does. And I see that. I see that. The moral and ethical stuff. I get it. I haven't seen the real tweets, only screenshots, so who knows? I guess so. Right, let's go.
This?
I do. I have to say it has made me feel much better because I feel I've got my point of view across and I can now just try and put this to bed and ignore it.
Have you been getting
No, he rocks. If you're a dick as well, then
my
sure.
colleagues and friends obviously not. And my colleagues at the bar have been very supportive.
Piers Morgan's kind of hot. That's a whole other conversation.
I've had
You do you.
adverse comments. There is now a Fiona Harvey support group who are commenting that I look like a man and that I am Richard Gadd's trans girlfriend, or they're suggesting that may be the case. And I'd like to refute both of those, Piers.
Do you think she's capable of
Do you have to
violence against you?
refute
Is that what worries you?
Well, that is what worries me, yes. I don't know what she's capable
Lady
of.
Gaga never
because
refuted
I don't
that.
even think she would remember thereafter. So I don't know what she is capable of. But if somebody threatens to kill you on several occasions just because they may have personality
Fox, how did it
disorders,
go? It was
doesn't
bad
mean
or
that they
no?
won't actually try and do it.
You think she might, or is capable of that?
Well, I seem to have been her major obsession over all these years because it's lasted the longest with me. So I could quite see, depending on how you looked at things, that she maybe sees me as some sort of enemy. And that
She
maybe
definitely
feels
does, hence
compelled
why
to do something to
resentful
harm her.
Do you have a message for her if she's watching this?
Well, I think my message would be, I think you need to get some help. I think you need to get psychiatric help as soon as possible. And I think you need to get off Facebook and stop sending emails and so on to people because you're doing yourself no favours if you are going to sue Netflix.
Laura Ray, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Damn. Well, there we go. Yeah. Thoughts and feelings? So what this is what this shows, and why I thought that this would be a cool thing to talk about is because when I talked about stalkers before, it kind of felt like, and even to me, it kind of felt like you stalk once, or you have a pattern of stalking behavior, but you only do one kind of stalking. As we talked about, there are 5 different kinds of stalking, and you don't just do one kind of stalking, you can do any kind of stalking depending on the situation. So Fiona Harvey is accused of both resentful stalking, so hate stalking, Laura, and then also intimacy seeking or love stalking, Richard. So stalking behaviors are stalking behaviors. They might be separated by vibe, and you might think, because the motivations are so different, that they're completely different things, but they're actually exactly the same thing. It's all about pinpointing one idea. You are the reason for all my problems, or you are the solution to all my problems, and then getting obsessed with it. Thank you, Home. I appreciate that. Yeah. It is about how to stalk. No. No, actually, no, I did do that last stream, didn't I? I did that last stalking stream. How do we stalk? Is that why you don't do therapy on stream? I'm not fucking qualified, Blob. I'm not qualified. I'm not. I can't, like, if I give you advice and then you follow my advice and then things end up poorly, then that's on me. None of the topics I studied were in any of the questions. Oh my god, oh no. So I'm gonna have to retake the course. That's okay, Fox. That's okay. That's all right. You may have done better than you thought, and retaking it is not the end of the world. People go to prison, right? Sorry. People go to prison for 40 years, and they're okay, relatively. So, you know, does that make sense? But that's, I said this at the very beginning of the stream, but that's what my friend said to me, because I was like really upset that I might have gotten, I'm such a nerd. I was really upset that I might get a B on an exam rather than an A. And that's what he said to me. He was like, Perry, sometimes people are wrongfully convicted of murder and they go to prison for 40 years and they come out and they're okay and they carry on. So you can get a B in this exam. B, what a loser. I know. I didn't, I got an A, but still. But still. So that was good advice. For me, you know? Does that make... I don't think that's good advice. I don't think it's true either. But, you know, listen, worst case scenario, your dog dies. And that's worse than doing bad on an exam. At least your dog hasn't died. Yeah. That's me reassuring you. Do you feel reassured? Damn. Did it work? You feel, yeah. That's all good. In the grand scheme of time, Julius Caesar was assassinated about a week ago. And he's doing pretty well. That guy needs to stop doing so much copium. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Sometimes people do bad things and go to prison for 40 years. And that's not you. You've done a bad thing. Or, I mean, doing badly on an exam is not doing a bad thing. But yeah, you do a bad thing. If you did do a bad thing, like if you offended someone accidentally, you did a bad thing, but you're not going to go to prison for 40 years about it. So you'll be okay. That's lovely. Caesar did nothing wrong. It was actually the government. Did you know this? I only learned this recently. It was the government. It was the Senate that decreed Julius Caesar should be assassinated. I just thought like it was just a lone dude who wanted to off Caesar, but no. It was an official governmental let's kill Caesar, go find him. And they did. So, blame the government, I guess. I guess. Brutus is getting whacked every single time. My best exam mark is a D+. Did you go to any of the lectures? Any of the lectures or lessons ever? Were you present? Did you actually go to that uni? That's okay. A D+ isn't that bad. I mean, I feel like if it was a multiple choice exam, that's less than likely. Maybe? Some of the senators conspired, though. Oh, they collectively stabbed him, like that Agatha Christie novel. Wait, you're supposed to show up for the lessons? Okay, I see where we went wrong. Oh, no. My best was a B in physics. Nice, and physics is hard. So, GG's. GG's, everyone. Good jobs. D is for dreadful. That's not nice. There's a great YouTube series about Caesar. That's fun. I should probably watch that sometime. That's where it went wrong. Not attending. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. That's okay. It's all right. Listen, the point is, and we all survived, didn't we? You know, we did badly in some exams and we're all fine. We're fine. We turned out great. We're all on Twitch. That doesn't mean anything. A Complete History of Rome by Agatha Christie. I would read that. I would so read that. Did we? Yes! Didn't we? Yeah, we did. We did well. I also got an E in English to balance it out. I thought I would fail English because I got very confused in the exam. I was supposed to be writing an essay on some kind of book and Inspector Calls or something stupid like that. But I got distracted and I ended up comparing. I'm really in the right job. I ended up comparing some sort of theme in an Inspector Calls to the pressure when you make hydrocarbons. I don't know how those things are related, but I was thinking about chemistry, so I was like hydrocarbons, and I was naming hydrocarbons. I don't remember any of it now, but I was naming specific kinds of hydrocarbons, and I was like, no way, and this is related to this. I did well, actually. There's some hydrocarbons: butane, methane, ethane, propane. That's also a hydrocarbon. Good job, Litz. Yeah, exactly. So my brain kind of did a thing in my English exam. I have a friend who studied for French, even though he took Spanish. He did not do well. I can make methane, Kleist, please. They took me off the English GCSEs. They said I couldn't pass it, and my mum kicked off, so they put me back on it. Turns out they were right. I couldn't pass it. Oh no! But they've enforced it now. You have to pass English and math. You have to. I don't know how they enforce that. I think you just have to keep taking it, even if you're 35. You just have to keep taking it until you get it. But you don't have to stay in school. You do it at college. You cannot fail maths and English anymore. Yeah, weird, crazy. I have a friend who did fail maths over and over and over and over again, and it absolutely drove him fucking insane because he had to pass it. English was mandatory to take when I did GCSEs. Yeah, for me as well. Oh, that's chat. We're fine. It wasn't even compulsory to sit in it. Really? You didn't even have to take it if you didn't want to? Interesting. They had a sniper aiming at your head during the exam, and if you fail, you don't get to leave the school. That's how they enforced passing maths and English. Oh no. Oh gosh. I'd be there till the day I die because I've never passed English. It is tricky, and English isn't really English, do you know what I mean? In England, English isn't really English. It's analyzing, it's literature, it's books and such. And so sometimes that's tricky. And especially there are some times where things are supposed to mean a thing, but they've never actually asked the author whether or not that actually means a thing. So my English teacher absolutely went off about the color of curtains. She was like, these blue curtains represent this thing, and their curtains are going to change at the end of the book to red curtains, and that represents this thing. But it's like, do they though, babe? Do they represent that? Do they? Because are you sure? Because did you ask? Like, I'm not sure. I'm not. Sometimes it was really poignant and it was like super clear. For example, I'm going to make another reference to it because it's all I do these days. Full Metal Alchemist. No. My Hero Academia. There's a character who has a burn all along one side of his face because his parents did that to him. Very sad. Now, his father, who was responsible for that burn when he was a kid, was trying to make amends, and he was doing some character development. And so halfway through his character development, he gets in an accident, and the same side of the father's face gets a big burn down the side. Now that is relevant. That means something. That is part of it's so they look more similar, so there's character, so he's reforming. The scar, that means something. The color of the curtains, I'm not convinced. Not convinced. No. My Czech teacher explained how they brought in a writer in uni and started taking his book apart, and he goes, but that's not what it means, I just meant, and the professor goes, shut up, you don't know anything, you just wrote it. A lot of people do say that the art is for the people viewing it. So I guess if you write something and people infer different stuff from it, a lot of writers say, okay, GG, you can think that because it's for you. But at the same time, that's crazy. Oh, there was something about Bohemian Rhapsody. There's no way I'm going to be able to find this at all. I tell you about this all the time, actually. Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, so there was a documentary about the song, or about Queen in general, and about Bohemian Rhapsody, the song. And they were analyzing the lyrics, and it was a bunch of guys, the professors in Oxford. And to be fair, I think they were set up for this. But there was a bunch of guys, professors in Oxford sitting around a table, and they were analyzing the lyrics. The lyrics that's like, body's aching all the time, shivers down my spine, etc. And then they were analyzing the lyrics. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, can you do the fandango, etc., all of that stuff. And they were analyzing it, and they were talking about, oh, this clearly means this is a sexual thing, this is very clearly about his body breaking down because he's in these sexual blah 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 blah, whatever it was. And then they panned to the one of the guitarists, and he was just like, no, it's nonsense words. No, we just said the sounds that sounded good to us. It doesn't mean anything. And I feel like that's so rude, because they obviously asked those professors to analyze it. They obviously sat them down and said, analyze these lyrics, and that knowing full well that they were going to pan away and have them absolutely shat on. They knew that that's what they were going to do. But yeah, yikes. That's kind of the point, no? See, the color of curtains has a meaning in movies as well. You just won't see it because you're uneducated. I'm sorry, Blob. I'm sorry. You're right. I think you're right. I was a poor boy from a poor family. Spare him is alive from this monstrosity. Yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think that... Shut up! I'm closing chat. I'm sorry. No more chat for you. Sorry, guys. Had it up to here with fucking caffeinated. Right, but Dragon, hi, welcome in. Look, I'm on a stream. You are. But yeah, do you guys think that if the author didn't intend it, but you inferred it, is it true still for you? Is it true and valid, or is it wrong? Your inference of it. Because that's a really interesting question, because like the curtains, right? If you're saying, oh, the blue represents this and the author didn't mean that, then it's wrong, right? It doesn't mean that. But then again, if you think about a song or a painting, if that has some sort of emotional relevance to you and your life, but the author didn't actually mean that lyric to mean that thing, does that still mean you're wrong? It could do. If there's a lyric in a song that's like, oh, the rain pouring down on my window, etc., and you're like, oh yeah, that represents my sadness, but the singer was like, no, it's just rain. Does that mean that you're wrong to interpret it that way? It's true on a personal scale, but you can take it too far, like the English teachers and the blue curtains. So it depends on the context. Ugh, I hate nuance. Ned, I hate nuance. That's so... the truth is, it depends on the context, and it depends on your vibe and what's true on a personal level and to who and your perspective. And of course, that is 100% the right answer. Ugh. God damn nuance. Nuance is into the chat, and I hate it. I just want to be reductionist. Pick a goddamn side! It's not true. We love a nuance. Write essays about one stupid particular thing, and then people pay you money. Nuance can suck my nuts. I appreciate the enthusiasm. I really do. I really, really do. That's good. Only the Sith deal in absolutes. You scare me. You do, because you're a nerd. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the nerdiness. I'm open to interpret things, but when you've got songs like Gucci Gang and I love it, what do the lyrics mean? That's true. Like, if there's a rapper singing about this bitch on my dick, there isn't really a philosophical way you can interpret that. Except you can, because it's part of a bragging culture, and it's a reference to having nothing and then having a lot. And if you see women as an item, then that's kind of the same thing. It's like, oh, look at all my watches and cars and big booty bitches. You know what I mean? It's capitalism on his dick. It's the pursuit of capitalism in a tiered, class-structured society. It's personal growth. These bitches on my dick. It's a sign of personal growth from poverty through art. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, guys. It's a really poignant, meaningful lyric. I'm seeing Skept alive in 15 days. That's fun. That's cool. How often do you got bitches on your dick? Not often as I would like, George. You sound like my one friend. You hate that guy, don't you? You hate him. Them. You hate them. Because you would say why if you didn't. You would be like, you sound like my friend, and explain the reason why, unless you absolutely hate their guts. Poor Richard getting blamed for everything. Yeah, love yourself better. Listen, I'm saying if you see women as objects, then it can have that beautiful philosophical meaning. Now, it does hinge on you seeing women as objects, which is where things get a little bit, you know, we might disagree. A little bit, like, dicey. A beautiful psychological analysis of bitches on said dick. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying, you know? And I just thought I would share with you. And that's the vibe. I only see women as subjects and predicates. What's a predicate? I don't know that. I don't think I know that word. I think Perry is extremely funny because she says inappropriate stuff all the time. You sound scared. You seem very nervous, and I'm sorry for doing that to you. Oh. Right. Shall we? I'm deciding. Do we go to the person who will hate me? To the person who does hate me? Or to the person who I hope doesn't hate me, but the jury's still out and we're gonna see her soon? Let's go to the person who doesn't hate me and the jury's still out and we'll see her soon. Let's do that. That's a better idea. Saccharin, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Guys, all of the above. Guys, thank you so much for the stream today. I had a lot of fun. If you like what you see, remember to follow. If you don't, do it anyway. Twitter for announcements, Instagram for visuals, and Discord for everything else. I'm next live tomorrow at 1 p.m. British Summertime BST. I will see you there. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Amazing. I'm gonna take the poll off the screen. Thank you for voting. We're like 50-50. No way. GG's. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Mama, ooh, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really matters. Too late, my time has come. Send shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody, see you tomorrow. I've got to go, gotta leave you all behind and face the truth.